All right, we're good to go. We're live on Facebook. Are you unmuted, Nick? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm here. How we doing?
I can't hear
Can
you
you
as
hear
well.
me?
That's weird.
Can you guys hear me? Put a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Yeah, now we got you.
Yes, perfect.
All right.
Happy Saturday.
Yeah. So you want to kick things off, Nick? Would you like me to?
Yeah. Well, first off, how about some introductions? I'll go first. I'm Nick Friend. I'm the CEO and owner of Art Storefronts.
And my name is Patrick Shanahan. I run the marketing department at Art Storefronts.
Yeah. So the purpose of today that we've actually never done this. We do we do workshops with our customers 4 days a week, and they're private and they're just like this. They're in this format, and we're doing business and marketing consulting. And I'm hoping if you guys have seen some of these, we've published one or two of them here or there. If you haven't, they're it's a good thing to watch. You're going to kind of experience it today a little bit, but our customers are obviously way down the rabbit hole executing on marketing and different things. But what we wanted to do for people who are not members is kind of chat with you guys about where you're at. Like, where are you at with your business? Is it brand new? Have you been doing it for a while? What are you thinking about? What do you need advice on? Because we found that it's just a whole different type of a conversation. And in true Art Storefronts fashion, we are big on, we're always telling our customers, our members, like, you got to execute, ship it, ship it, ship it, right? And that means, like, don't try to be overly perfect. Like, you need to do a volume of stuff, like volume in marketing more than just perfection everywhere. And so we are shipping it. So we're opening up the Zoom call, and here we are. You guys are the first ones for us to do this with. And then the other announcement that I'll make, Patrick and I were live yesterday on Instagram and Facebook, and we were talking about how we just closed out, like, the biggest month in the history of Art Storefronts by far. It wasn't even close. And it was not only new members signing up, but it was artist sales from their websites, the photographer and artist websites. It was up 130% in April 2020 when compared to April 2019. And so if you've been following us at all, we've talked about how, art has been selling in this pandemic. It actually happens to be one of the winners because it's in this home decor category, home DIY. It's just been an unbelievable thing that none of us expected. And we've published all the data about it, not just from our company, but from other companies, in that space. And that's been fascinating. So we ended up with such a rush at the end of the month that we couldn't even keep up with the demo requests and the demand. And so we have decided to extend this pandemic sale incentive that we were running in April for new members into May. Okay. So for anybody that is interested in joining or is looking into it at all, we've extended the sale into May. And so what I would say is, given what happened last month, if you find that you might want to join and you might want to have a further conversation about it, get a demo request in as soon as possible, because the spots are filling up way too fast and there's limited time to run demos and sign people up. It's because we're an all-in-one solution. There's a lot to go over. And that's why we actually have demos. So that's all the announcements I've got. Pat, what did you want to kick it off with on your end?
Yeah, I would say, we're totally, like Nick said, new to this with, non-customers. So we're really curious to get your questions, your situations. But I would say, some of you guys have probably been following us for a while or aware of what we've done or aware of what we do. But this pandemic has absolutely changed everything, because instead of just putting out a blog post and putting out podcasts like we've done in the past, we've got forced to go on offense, right? And like respond to the COVID thing and best prepare our customers for it. And what's been amazing about that is, before it was like peripheral relationships and we knew about some of the people on our platform. And now, like, we're in this call today, I think we've had 17 or 18 office hours. We're doing them twice a week with our customers. And as a result of like that proximity to our customers and talking about them and looking at their stats and asking what they're struggling with and asking what they're working on, it's given us it's poured gasoline on the insights that we had into already what you guys are struggling with. And I can look on this call right now and I can say almost with 100% certainty that 99 out of 100 of you all have a marketing problem. You all have a marketing and traffic problem. You need to be driving people to your website. You don't have enough coming to your website. You don't have enough buying. And I know that's your problem. I know, because we have talked to so many thousands of artists and photographers, and you're all solo entrepreneurs. You're not big entities. You rely on people being exposed to your art so that you can sell your art or photography. And to do that, you need to be able to market. That is especially important in today's day and age. I think a ton, our customers included, got caught with their pants down in the sense that, we were all relying on these awesome offline revenue sources, whether it were galleries or whether your local shows or your fairs or whatever you were involved in. Now that's been taken off the table. We think, I'm a massive optimist. I think this thing is a bad flu. I'm sorry if that upsets you. I'm entitled to my opinion. I think we're going to get back to normal sooner than anyone would believe. But it doesn't look that way, right? And so we think for the next 12 to 24 months, all of these offline revenue sources, if they do come back, are going to be some smaller percentage of what they were. Maybe they're 30 or 40 or 50% of what they were years previous. So the next 12 to 24 months are absolutely critical to get going on your marketing, have a website online that you can sell your art, and be focused on the right things and do it consistently. And so that's sort of our mantra. That's like what we're advocating. Now, there is a link in the chat for you guys to be able to raise your hands. We're happy to talk all day. Nick and I can do that all day long, but we'd love to get into you guys, get your questions. Nothing is out of bounds. Nothing is offline. Pricing, this, that, the other. We're prepared. We're equipped to answer whatever you have. Throw it out there. Frustrations, all of it. And Krista, it looks like your hand is first. Are you ready to go, Nick?
Wait, yeah. Pat, 1 second. I just also want to say Joseph is on here too. Joseph Vasquez, who's also another Art Storefronts team member. Joseph, I just unmuted you. You're going to stay unmuted because if there's any questions that are really detail oriented, about about the packages or anything like that, or anything that you want to jump in and handle, you are now capable of doing so.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you.
Awesome. Good to have you.
And I'm going to mute you for now, Joe, just so that we keep the audio clean. And this thing allows you to go into like side rooms too. So if anybody wants to take Joseph into a side room, ask questions about this, that, or the other, they're certainly capable. So Krista, we'll start with you. I'm going to unmute you in just a second. Quickly, there's chat as well. As you can see, like Sheila asked, why would they come to Art Storefront, not individual sites? Sheila, that question sounds to me like you think we're a marketplace. We're not a marketplace. A marketplace is where there's a bunch of artists and they all upload their art and everybody looks at it, like a Fine Art America or an art.com, something like that.
And we are specifically not a marketplace.
Yeah.
I want to say that. We are specifically by design not a marketplace, not another online gallery website that anybody can go and upload to that's sitting on their couch anywhere in the world. They do not work by definition.
Yep.
Okay, that's not how you build a great business. I've ranted on this a lot. We've talked about this a lot. We are here to help you guys build long-term valuable art businesses. That's what Art Storefronts is designed to do. And when, I'll rant about it a little bit because I'm sure some people probably, if you don't look into us at all, like really deeply, then the first thought is, where do I just upload my work, right? Like it's like we're another Fine Art America. That's a very common thought. And so the important point, guys, is that because this goes along the lines of a question that I get all the time. People are like, how can I differentiate myself? Everybody has an iPhone in their pocket, right? That's what a photographer might say. Right? Anybody can be a painter now and put their stuff online. And what nobody realizes is that every single person, 99.999% is just uploading their stuff to these online galleries. And so it'll never work by definition. Whatever everybody is doing is crowded and overpopulated. It doesn't work. The next thing that people do, the next step after that is they launch a website and they go, I'm going to do SEO and search engine optimization. I'm just going to type in some things. I'm going to appear at the top of Google, and all of a sudden traffic's going to start pouring in and fish are going to jump into my boat and I'm going to have passive income. Two biggest problems right there, right? It doesn't work that way. And so what we do at Art Storefronts is I believe in you guys building your own businesses, your own valuable businesses where you control everything. You control your own distribution. You control your own customer list. There's nobody in the way of that. Because it's just a normal business. That's how you build a normal, valuable business. And for some reason in the art industry, I've been in the art industry for 20 years, okay? For some reason in this industry, there is so much like BS and it's almost like hypnosis that goes on from like am I supposed to work with galleries? Am I supposed to work here? And then what ends up happening is most artists and photographers are just collecting a 1099 check, right? Like independent contractor income. And the other guy has the customer, right? The other guy acquired the customer and is building a business off your art as opposed to the other way around. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the way it's supposed to be. So we want you guys to build your own valuable businesses, and our entire infrastructure is designed around that. So it's your own proper art gallery website, plus all the business and marketing consulting that we can possibly do in order to help you, go down that path and build something valuable. So if you want to do that, you're a good fit for us. If you don't, and you really thought like, hey, I just want to upload my stuff online and see what happens, go and do that and, see how that goes, and then maybe come back later. But that it's completely different what we're actually trying to do here.
Yep. And we got some questions rolling in the chat. I think we'll just kind of go back and forth between the live questions, those of you who raised your hands, and the chat. And we'll just kind of feel this thing out and see how it goes along. So first is Krista. Krista, you're unmuted. Go.
Great. Thanks.
No problem.
Okay. I really like what you're saying, because this is definitely for me in what you've said so far. I don't really know about you. Mm-hmm. I'd like to learn more. It would help me to have a step-by-step kind of outline thing. You might have one available that I could get. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do that right now, but I have a lot of art. I've been collecting my work. I have a ton of stuff. I have what I think is a good marketing plan. I have a certain population that I can address and combine with another service. And I think that it sounds good. It might not work, it might work, but at least I have the idea that I've got to go do this. I've got to get customers. That's the big thing in sales.
Everybody does.
Or it's different than sales. You just got to keep getting them more and more and more. So I guess my main question was, what is your process? How do you start with someone? What is the expectation of what they do and what you provide for us?
Yeah, and it sounds like, great question, and thank you, Krista. It sounds like, Nick, we should walk through briefly the quick elevator pitch of everything that it is that we do. Do you want to handle that?
Yeah. So there's two main core products of Art Storefronts. Like, it's an all-in-one solution, right? But the easiest way to break it down is there's two things. One is the proper art gallery website with all of the features, to make art sales happen and to give your customers the absolute best buying experience possible, right? Like, customer experience is everything these days. You just look at companies like Amazon and Apple, with philosophies of customer obsession. And so, that's the first thing that we do. We're giving you something that solves that problem, right? So you have an art gallery online with everything that you need, and you can launch it in about 2 weeks. That's our process. So we have a white glove process for onboarding, where we're literally trying to help you get live as quickly as possible and according to best practices, okay? And it's about 14 days. Some people take a little bit longer, but that's what we're trying to do, because at the end of that, it's done. We have built these websites to convert people, visitors, into buyers. So you don't need to be spending time tinkering with it or anything like that. At that point, you want to move over into our second product, which is the marketing product, okay? And the business and marketing consulting. So we provide, a 365-day-a-year art marketing plan. It's called the Art Marketing Calendar. And then we have workshops 3 to 4 days a week, depending on the week, where we're providing consulting, okay? So with those workshops, some of them we call office hours, and that's where we're doing just live Q&A, like kind of like we're doing right now, where there's no format to it. And then other ones, we do deep dives on specific tactics, marketing tactics that we're advocating in the calendar. But we're essentially all working on the art marketing calendar together. All the Art Storefronts members are. And so we're coaching, specifically based on what's going on right now, right? And so for like the last 30 days, 60 days, everybody's been working on, our pandemic marketing kit, right? So all the specific tactical that we want everybody doing during this pandemic based on what we figured out is working, okay? So yeah, two products, right? The proper art gallery website and the art marketing and business consulting, right? So the process is, we guide you through the whole thing, okay? That's why we want to talk to people on the phone, because we want to make sure that you're going to be talking to us. Like this is a consulting product, you know? So there's our support team will onboard you and get the website live. At that point, you move into our marketing launch workshop where you get a website audit from our team, a technical website audit to make sure everything's according to best practices. And then they get you into the first marketing initiative that we want you to do, okay? It's basically a launch initiative. You get that done, then you're in the regular art marketing, following the art marketing calendar. And I could show it right now. I might as well, right?
Yeah, you can. And why you're doing that and why you're getting that spun up, I would say quickly that we offer the best website that's out there in terms of how to sell art online. And so obviously it's an e-commerce site that's ready to go, that we've tested, that we have data on, that works very effectively. It's got all the bells and whistles that you need to effectively sell wall art. It's not enough. That's what we discovered. It's not enough. If we're going to survive, if we're going to thrive as a business, we have to create successful customers, okay? There's a stat that we cite all the time, which is so true, and it's 99% of Shopify stores fail. And they fail because putting up a website in today's day and age is not enough. It is fundamentally not enough. And that's why you see so many artists out there try to sell on their site or try to sell on Fine Art America or go upload here or trying to sell on Etsy and then giving up because it's not enough. The marketing is what it takes. And so, yes, we have a website with all the bells and whistles, but the secret sauce is the fact that we teach you how to market on a week in, week out basis all year long. Everything. Email marketing, how to run sales, how to discount, how to price your work. Advanced marketing tactics that no one else is even talking about. And you have access not just to the materials that teach you how to do it, we teach you live and we coach you, and that is yours as a benefit of your membership for the life of your membership. And so we'll never stop, and we're very, very good at digital marketing. We go out, we find the latest and greatest things that are effective. We take feedback from our customers that are selling well into the 6 and 7 figures, and we repurpose it into playbooks and plans that you can run so your marketing time that you have to spend is not wasted on anything but the most effective, highest ROI stuff.
So Krista, does that answer your question though? Does that make sense how we would onboard you and what you would be doing?
Yeah, I muted her so I lost her, so she's
okay.
On that, yeah.
It's quite a bit of detail there. You know, the thing too, we started talking about this yesterday, and I've never like articulated this language, but this is essentially a business school, like an entrepreneurship school, plus consulting at the same time. Like you have to wrap your head around that, okay? And I have a different perspective than most people because I actually went to business school. I went to USC, the Marshall School of Business, top 15 business school in the country, right? And I got that education. And I know that, you know, that's like a $300,000 education. And for $1,000 buy-in here at Art Storefronts, you actually will be better off. I mean, I can confidently say that as someone who can speak about that intelligently. And there's a reason. There's a reason because, you know, one, in business school, you're in the land of theory, right? It's like imagine like going to like war school. You're learning about war, the theories of war, and then you actually get into a war. And it's like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Like when the bullets fly in that specific war, you need specific, you know, guidance on what to do in that battle, in that war. Like all the theory that you learned is just theory, you know? And so what's so incredible about this is you're actually running a business while you're in the business school. That's the way it should be done. Like when I look back at my business school, I was in an entrepreneurship, like, you know, focus in my school. And it's so amazing that society has just accepted the fact that you're supposed to go to school and not be doing it at the same time. Just an amazing thing. It's total sidebar, but that's what we're doing here. I mean, you're running your business and you're in like a master class of entrepreneurship and, you know, marketing while you're running the business. So you're getting the consulting and the learning at the same time. That's just, it's never happened before. So you know, you hear me talking about it. I can't even articulate it well yet. The product doesn't exist, you know, we're the first ones doing this, but I think I'm extremely passionate about it, obviously, because me being an entrepreneur for 20 years, I've started 6 companies. It's exactly what I never had, you know, it's what I never had. And I had to piece together with mentors and different people. And it's just crazy. And I think that that's kind of a profound thing.
Okay. Katie Neely, you're up next. Katie, I'm going to unmute you. Go.
Hey. So I originally started with Art Storefronts in 2017 while I was operating an art gallery. And my art gallery was located in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where I live. And the biggest sale I had was when they were shooting a movie across the street, and Lawrence Fishburne walked in and bought a $3,000 painting. Just
Nice.
kissed it and took it. Like, that was cool. And I never really completed setting up my Art Storefronts sites. I did sell one print. I don't know how. And after Lawrence Fishburne's success, I actually ended up accepting a fraudulent cashier's check for a painting, and that did me in. That really,
wow.
That's terrible.
That really hit me hard, and I had to close my gallery, and because I couldn't afford the rent. The rent was like $1,100 a month.
So this was your gallery?
Yeah, it was my gallery.
And are you an Art Storefronts member now, or did you have to?
I am. Yes, I'm back. I'm on the site audit now.
Okay.
So I'm really happy to be back, and I'm really excited. And when I opened my art gallery, I also started a podcast to try and better represent the artists I was showcasing. And the podcast is basically interviews with artists about how they succeed doing their artistic work. So I talked
is that what Emily sent to us?
Yeah, that was the Wet Stuff podcast. I wanted to talk to you guys. I know you don't have time. That's cool.
We'll try to get to it at some point. We're just obviously right now.
It'll be awesome when you do. It'll be awesome when you do. I am interviewing on the 4th. I'm interviewing David Emmons. David Emmons is I enrolled in his course to learn about Facebook marketing. So what he has proven to me is that SEO doesn't work anymore. Nobody's going to Google anymore and searching for art. It's all word of mouth, and word of mouth is coming from Facebook and Instagram. So
you got to just get with us. Get into the member workshops.
Yep.
But we don't buy anything else. Don't spend any more money on courses or anything else.
Okay.
You're done. You don't need any of that. You're good to go. Like, we've got all of that. We got all the Facebook tactical. And
you've already paid for it. And we don't disagree with that guy in terms of SEO. SEO is, and let's just go on a very quick tangent on SEO. Okay. No one is knocking people that do SEO. Okay. SEO is an incredibly difficult task. It's a science. There's people that are amazing at it that get amazing results. The problem with SEO is what's underpinning it. And what's underpinning it is the biggest lie that is sold in the internet marketing world right now, which is passive income, which is there is some website out there that exists that you can magically upload your art to, not have to do anything else, and get a great living. And that is absolutely the biggest lie that's ever told. I don't care if you do SEO or if you do Facebook ads or if you do Instagram marketing or you do email marketing, you send snail mail. You have to work consistently, week in and week out, year over year, to continue growing a business and getting there. So it's not that we knock SEO. SEO can potentially work for some artists in some very rare situations, but it is like the number one thing that artists and photographers get sold is some BS snake oil. We'll get you listed in all these directories. We're going to send all this traffic to your site. They're going to buy so much art and you're going to blow up. And it never works. SEO is like anything else. If you want to be good at it, you have to put in the work day in, day out, week over week, month over month, year over year. There is no shortcut to being a successful artist and having a large and healthy and robust business online. Every single solitary person that we have on our platform that's selling over 6 figures of art a year consistently, day after day after day, puts time into their marketing. And that's it. And that's it. And if you want to have a successful business, it's the exact same thing you have to do. Where we come in is we make sure you're only focusing on the highest ROI marketing activities that exist for photographers and artists in the game right now. How do we know that? 1, we're really good at digital marketing. 2, we have more data than anyone else does on this because we have 3,000 artists on our platform, and we get to see all of their data, and we know what's working and we know what's not working. So we focus you, and then we teach you on the highest ROI activity. All you have to do, I feel like I'm doing the Neo. You can take the red pill, or you can take the blue pill. But in all honesty, I said it when we opened. I already know what 99 out of 100 people in this room's biggest problem is, and it's just the marketing. It's number 1, you try it and then you quit. You don't stay consistent. Number 2, you're focusing on the knucklehead stuff, right? Because someone told you or someone's cousin told you to do this or market here. And then the third one is just the consistency. That's it. So if you know what to focus on,
you're looking for the one tactic, right?
Yeah.
So like I'll say I love what you said about the SEO and the passive income, right?
Yeah,
like,
I hate it.
A lie, right?
Yeah.
But I have a different perspective on this because 17 years ago I started a company, Breathing Color. It is a manufacturer of inkjet canvas, digital photography papers, art papers, and all of that stuff. And I built the company on SEO. This was 2003 when I started the company. So this was when SEO was actually the arbitrage, right? Like you could hack it, you could get away with it. So I built that company, and it stopped working in like 2009, 2010. The period that you wanted to do SEO was 2003 to like 2008. Okay, that was it. Because after that, what happens with marketing tactics is once they get found out, everybody starts doing them, and then they all end. Like just imagine if you were one of 100 artists on one of these online art gallery sites the first time they launched, you're probably like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so many eyeballs on my work. But once everybody in the planet is doing it, it's over. Marketing, like there's a famous saying that marketers ruin everything, and they do. Eventually, every marketing tactic gets ruined. So when I think about SEO, I'm like, when people talk to me about SEO, I'm going, that stopped working 10 years ago. Like, what are you doing? And I know it personally because I did it, and I went through all of it. And so what we want you to do, and what we're having all of our members do, is focus on the highest ROI activities. ROI, return on investment of your time. That's what we're saying when we say ROI. You'll hear us say that a lot. But if you have 100 hours to spend on marketing, I want you to spend it where the highest ROI is for your time. And so do you, right? I don't want you to spend 100 hours on SEO because the ROI is so low that you will just completely waste your time. And there's, that's the whole point right there. You need to focus on what's working right now. There are better arbitrages right now than there is on SEO. And that's the whole point of why we're doing what we're doing with our marketing product is we're going to be on top of that all the time. And so as a member, you will always be ahead. Like the tactic that we have going right now during the pandemic that I can't talk about because it's private for Art Storefronts members is absolutely killing it. And it's incredible. It's like we had to adjust. This was not a tactic prior to the pandemic, but we honestly had to adjust and put our heads together and figure out how to get creative, knowing that it has to be 100% digital online. It can't have anything to do with being in person.
Yep. Okay. Katha Jr.'s iPhone. You're up next. Go.
Katha. Jay.
Katha. Wait, say it again. Katha.
There you go. It's Katha, Kaytha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Katha.
You're coming through sideways.
Creative and artistic, yes.
Yes.
So I have talked to you all before, and I have let my website. I was on Wix. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes, it'll make my neck feel better. Thank you.
I was on Wix, and I let my Wix run out. Basically, it just paid for itself. But I've been doing art festivals, I guess, for the past 3 or 4 years.
You've been gathering emails. You've been gathering emails at those festivals.
Oh, probably a lot of people. I'm on a Facebook page too that has mentioned you all in the past. Like one of my art friends had mentioned that he just got on Art Storefronts, and people are asking about it and inquiring about it just because of obviously the situation right now with basically no upcoming shows.
I know.
My
it's terrible.
show Bayou City, which I normally make anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000, got canceled and rescheduled for the fall. But who knows? Like we're hoping that it'll still go on. But anyway, my 2 biggest shows of the year basically got canceled. And so my question is, I do something really different. I know you probably hear that a lot, but like I do yarn art. It is, and I started experimenting a lot. I used to teach art, and so it came from
Is
my
it wall hanging?
I can show you.
Yeah, oh yeah, show us. Now I'm curious. I want to see it.
Like there's
Whoa, that is cool.
There's a moose that I've done. Here is a coyote.
Whoa.
So part of the issue. So part of my issue. This is like my sunroom / work studio space, and part of the issue, as you can see here, is so it's yarn, right? It's
Mhm.
texture.
Right.
And on some of them, I've started working on fabric, like the mousse is on fabric, and but obviously, the draw is in person. It
Right.
it's really cool because it's like you have to sort of be able to, and not like people pet the art, but it's very durable. I use a permanent fabric adhesive that's meant to be laundered. So
Mhm.
like you could, I mean, like I've had several pieces up in our house for years that were actually done on cardboard back when I was working with, my kids and doing, but so how would, I guess my biggest thing is like,
It's
how's
just
that
an
going
original
to
painting. It's just like it's just like an original painting. That's all it is.
It is, but it's also yarn. I mean, which is part of the draw. Like people like the fact that it's textured, that it's not sewn on. It's I draw it, I paint it on.
So what's your
Will it sell? She wants to know, will it sell online? Because it's, because you need to see it in
right.
person.
1,000% yes. No problem at all.
Yep.
I mean, like part of the whole draw is that it's texture and you can feel it.
Yep.
There's no reason, Keitha, that you can't capture that in
Video.
pictures and videos.
Yep.
So that people get that in the experience, and that's part of the marketing, right? Like one of the big things that we talk about all the time is merchandising. Like so many photographers and artists, like you look at their Instagram profiles and it's just flat images, but like that's not the product. The product is a canvas print that's yay thick with a gallery wrap bars on the back and has texture on it. If it's a painting, some of our artists like Matthew Laka, he does this impasto. I mean, it's like crazy. It's like this thick on top of the canvas. You know what I mean? And you can't appreciate it unless he has like really good pictures and so but fortunately for you, you can take great photos of it. You can take great videos and really get in there close, and like people can really, like when you were showing it right now, I got it. I saw like the looping, I saw the texture of it. I mean, it was obvious to me.
Yeah, and let me go on a rant after you.
I can't feel it, but you will have no problem at all selling that online at all. It's like none. It's don't let that be in your head. Just get online and start making it happen, because that the other part that you talked about is the more important part of the conversation, which is the shows, right? Like what I say, I have a very like entrepreneurial opinion on this, because I went through the 9/11 recession as a entrepreneur. I went through the 2008 recession as an entrepreneur, and I'm going through this one right now, right? And like the patterns are all the same. There is the way that you guys need to think about it is like there's a before and an after. Like the more you do this, the better off you're going to be. And what I say by that is like you need to think about, we're calling it America 2.0, right? Mark Cuban was the one who coined that phrase, but there was America 1.0 and now there's America 2.0, and so the way that I say it is like the festivals and the shows and the art galleries, like it's such an unknown. Even when they come back, whenever that is, we don't know. And whenever they come back, that attendance is going to be down for at least a while. And then the other thing that scares me about them is like, are people going to buy anything? Like they don't want to touch anything. So are they like, what's going to happen with that? Are they going to grab something and walk around like they do and take it to their trunk? It's weird. So you're going to have to have shipping figured out and all of that. I mean, it's just, I don't like it, but regardless, we obviously want all of that to come back. But the point of this, the psychology in this is that you need to look at the shows and the galleries like gravy, right? Like if they come back, great, but do not count on it. Imagine that it's going to be 0% of your, like it's gone, it's done. And think like an entrepreneur in America 2.0 about how to position your business for where the world is going to be, which is way more online than it ever was, right? And building your business through the things that you can actually like rely on, and that's the online space. So if it comes back, amazing, right? Because now you'll have both and you'll be this amazing business. You'll have such a strong business, because the reason you don't have a strong business right now is because you didn't diversify and you didn't start executing online. I mean, we even say people who started Art Storefronts 6 months ago, it wasn't soon enough. You needed to be executing on the online market 2 or 3 years ago, but it's okay, because the smartest thing that you can do is just take it seriously right now and just move forward and just get your stuff online. And Keitha, if you, it's up to you to do what you want to do. But if you decide that you want to join Art Storefronts, we will help you with all of this.
And I would say,
sell that yarn art online, and it will not be a problem. It's just the way that you market it and you position it. It's that simple.
And the perfect analogy here is, Keith, that you're walking up to the front of the restaurant and you're looking in the window and you're like, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there. The food might not be good. And you leave and you go to the next one. You do the same thing. How do you know the food's not going to be good? You haven't even gone in there. Go into the restaurant, sit down, order it, and have a bite. See what happens. Get that art online and see whether or not it'll sell. It will sell, number one. Number two, and we say this all the time, what is the single solitary best experience to sell art online? Or to sell art, period. It's the offline in-person experience, right? That is the best. There's no question about that. So what is our job to do in the digital capacity? Make it as close to that experience as humanly possible. And one of the things that we're advocating, what's changed? What are we on now? A big Zoom call with everyone on video, and no one cares you have crappy lighting or your hair's not done and perfectly coiffed, okay, or you've not brushed your teeth. I don't know if Gabe's brushed his teeth. I don't care. No one cares. So you know what? You sell that art. You have a good video where you articulate it. We teach you how to market, in which case you put in your emails. Have questions about my yarn art? I'm available for Zoom calls, messenger chats, FaceTime, and guess what people are going to do? I want to see it. And there you are. You're in your hat, in your sunroom, showing off the yarn. And guess what? People will get it. They will get it. So don't walk up to the restaurant and not go in. Go into the restaurant, sit down, order, and then make the call. You know, you don't know until you know. So you got to just ship it. No mental roadblocks like that.
You have phenomenal work too. Yeah. I mean, right when you started showing it, it was very easy to see it right from your video. Like it was done for me. I'm like, that's good. There's an artist on our platform that sells really, really well. Actually, I think it's John Nieto. And your work, yeah. By the way, Pat, explain the muting so that they understand, because we're not in a regular workshop. Our members know this.
Yeah. So to keep things moving, because we try to be democratic as possible.
There's a list of hands raised.
Yeah. It manifests itself in me having to be a tyrant and mute people so that we can keep moving and no follow-up questions. So I apologize, Kate, that we see you talking, but we got to keep moving because we want to get to as many people as possible. But yeah, you just need to take a shot, and you honestly do not need to worry about it. And your problem, like I said, same as everyone else's, got to start marketing. That's it. Gabe, you're up next. You ready? Go.
Okay.
Hey, Gabe.
I'm unmuted. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I just got connected with you guys maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I'm kind of new to Art Storefronts. I posted a question with a link to my site. I was originally on SmugMug, moved over to Shootproof. I've been on Shootproof for about, I don't know, maybe a year and a half now. I've sold enough there, but I'm not happy at all. Like, because what they do is they take you to the front of your store, and then they make you click through 2 times to actually get to the gallery. And people are like, yeah, I'm just leaving.
Yeah.
But my big question for you guys is, I've got, maybe 300 prints that are online, all landscape and travel photography. 30 in my portfolio that are, like in the largest gallery that I think is the most important. Do you guys have any advice, while I'm thinking about, joining Art Storefronts, and limiting that, or how many photos should we have on the front page? Is that too many?
No.
We love this question.
Yeah. So this is like a classic website audit type of question, right? So generally, you want to have your bestsellers category like on your homepage, right? Like you want to make people like work the least to see the most amount of your images as quickly as possible, right? And so I would say, like, if you have 3 categories of 100, like that's the best way to probably organize a homepage like that. What I normally advise is, if you have 100 images or less, then they should all go on your homepage in the order of bestseller or popularity, right? Just the best you can do it, right? Just top down. If you have more than that, then you might want to start categorizing them. But the least amount of categories as possible on your homepage, because if you actually experience it yourself, like on a phone or on your desktop, you'll notice every category you have is like another page load, for example. And it's just, when you start looking at the statistics of how long people stay on your site, if you don't try to get the art that they want to see in front of them quickly, they might not see it, you know, but 300 images is no problem. That's not a lot.
Yeah.
I
would also, we should say, you know, one of the things that we studied quite a bit is just conversion rates in general on all types of art sites. And at a macro, we don't like sliders, website sliders. Okay. We don't like any giant header bar, no slideshows. All of that is crap, and we've got compelling data on it. Do not have that on your website. And yet, what does every pretty portfolio site have? Ooh, I want one big slideshow of a couple of images and then enter my store, which is stupid because you're just, it is not as effective. It's measured in a metric called bounce rate, which are people come and they leave. And we found that if you have a giant grid of images on your homepage, people spend more time on the site, they are less inclined to bounce, and their pages per visit metrics go up. So that's sort of a way that we tackle that. And we look at
I'm gonna go into like, I just have to say, like, back to my hypnosis or like pollution of the mind that happens to so many photographers and artists is like, you see other websites of businesses and, you know, they're all colored, they have different background colors and all these different elements on it. And then you just go and do that. And no, that's the worst, right? Like, if you want to have the highest conversion rates, you got to think like an art gallery, right? Like, you get out of the way. The point of an art gallery is you walk in, you notice, like, if you ever walk by an art gallery or you walk in, it has white walls, and there's a reason for that. You don't want anything competing with the art. You want your eyeballs to go right to the art, and it always does. You walk right in the door and you're instantly looking at art, you know? And that's the experience that you want to have on your website. So it really bothers me when people, even Art Storefronts members, I got to correct them all the time on this. You know, they ask for a website audit and they've got like a brown background color or like a gray. And I'm like, how many walls of homes have that background color? Like, why would you do that? Why would you have a black background when not a single person has a black wall in their house? You're making it mentally harder for people to picture the art in their house. So you got to get everything out of the way. The art actually is the design. Anyways, that wasn't your question, Gabe, but I just had to rant on it.
One quick question, if I can.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I know it's $1,000 to get in. It's like $40 a month or something like that, right? To be a member. Is there anything else, you know, planning budget wise that I should plan before I make the decision?
Joseph, why don't you talk about pricing, since we always bungle all the details? Go ahead.
Yeah. So Gabe, to your point, yeah, you could start as low as the 1,000 one-time activations, but we're discounting that too. And then it's $44 a month. And then we have options to go up from there. But aside from that, you'd want to have your own domain name. If you don't have that, that should be something 10, 15 bucks, like a GoDaddy, is what we generally recommend there. That's pretty much it that I can think of. Yeah. I mean, setting up you're going to see Facebook, Instagram, things like that on our suggestions for marketing. It's not going to cost you anything to set those up, right? You can get this going.
Yeah, we're not telling you to buy ads or anything like that, Gabe. We've got other tactics that we want you doing way before that are free, you know, that aren't going to cost you anything. The only thing to keep in mind is, you know, you'll probably need to buy a print or two here or there to like run a giveaway. It's one of our tactics, one of many. But you know, you basically, like, you'll buy it so that you can ship it to yourself, show it off, and then you use that giveaway to do like customer acquisition and lead acquisition. So, but the cost of those are really cheap because you also get discounts, special discounts on the print fulfillment as an Art Storefronts member. And I always say to everybody, like, you know, the photo papers and the fine art papers are so competitively priced that, like, if you're really constrained on budget, you can do a giveaway for like an 8x10. And I swear, I think I got to look this up because I'm saying this too often frequently, but I think an 8x10 on a photo paper is like $7 or something. It's probably under $10. And even on like a fine art paper, it's probably 12, you know? And so it's so cheap, but that's pretty much it. There's no anything else. You only pay for the print when you get an order, right? So, or I mean, like when you're getting web orders for the automated fulfillment, that's it. That's all there is, right, Joe?
Yeah, that's it. And you can get going. And then to a point earlier, you know, if anybody, I know Pat's got to mute everybody so we can move quick. If anybody wants to talk any further, you could just request a demo. Myself or one of our other consultants will reach out. We do have someone on standby right now that could chat with you a little more in detail and give you a call. or we'll just reach out on Monday and talk a little further if you want to get a little more clarification, a little more detail for your specific situation, since we got to keep flowing through everybody. So just put in a demo, we'll reach out and be happy to give you a little more advice for your specific situation and recommendations. And that is our next first step before you come on board. We'll chat with you guys for a real quick 10, 15 minutes, give you some guidance, make sure it's a good fit. And then, you could start coming on board.
Thank you, Joe.
One thing too, I saw a number of questions. People are wondering kind of what our print on demand scenario is. Do you want to cover that from a high level, Nick, just really quickly? What the options are?
Why don't you talk about it the way that you do, and then I'll add any detail after that anybody wants.
I didn't see the full question, but yeah, the way our print on demand is set up is, we don't personally own a printer, right? What we've done is we've took the initiative, we polled our community to see what everyone wants for like a fine art quality, archival museum quality printer service, all those things. We've vetted these huge companies for it, and we can connect you to them. So we've done all that legwork, and they'll just print, frame, and ship anything that comes through the website. It's great. Streamlined, it's going to save you a ton of time. You're just paying the wholesale cost to the printer, like Nick mentioned. We've got great pricing. It's like joining a giant co-op, right? You get discounts on your prints. You're going to save money there regardless. And it's just a really streamlined thing. They're going to have all the big metal, paper, canvas, acrylics. They're going to turnkey it. So they're going to take that, the size, and frame it if they purchase a frame, and then just ship it out for you. It's a completely optional feature as well. There's probably some people in here have their Canon in the garage or wherever at the shop, and you want to do it yourself. That's fine too. You can set the store up, receive an email for your orders, and just fulfill them yourself, or have your local guy, if you got a family member who has a printer or something, do it too. That's fine. But we have just a really great setup. There's an article, I'm sure we'll get Chris to drop it in here, going to give you way more detail on it that you can read about. It's
that's the new standard in fine art print fulfillment, right? Chris,
correct.
Can we get that in there? Joe, another question from another Nick that's on here. So if $1,000 one-time setup fee plus $44 a month is the starting level, that's discounted. That's what it is right now.
Right. Yeah, it's discounted for that.
What are the other levels, and what's the difference?
So features is the difference. On our upper end, we've actually discounted that. Like Nick said, we extended our special. A lot of times we don't discount as much, but right now it's down to $24.99 is the more advertised plan. That's going to have every feature, bell and whistle on it. We have, and then that one has a monthly of $59 a month there. And that's going to be, we have a huge feature list on our blog, and you can see everything on there with the site. And that's that plan. We just, that's not always in the budget for everyone to start there. So we made it, we discounted a plan down to $1,000 and then $44 that you could start there. Less features, but then you can always work up to that if you need to. Because the beauty of this is, going back, I don't know if everybody's been here since the beginning, we have this full laid out marketing plan, these sites that are designed for you to just really streamline, the people who are going to come by. And you basically, for $1,000 and $44 a month, have this whole marketing team building you every single month how to grow your business and get your art out there. And so, yeah, you can get access to that at that level, and always work up to features if you need to, or you can just start with everything. So, and then, like I said, put in a demo request. We'll get into way more detail and also be able to make recommendations for you as well. So,
yeah, so we probably have a demo request link in there in the show notes, Chris. If not, let's get it in there. But in general, you just go to artstorefronts.com. It's always in the upper right-hand corner of the screen in the navigation bar, big button that says request a demo. That gets you in the queue. And then Joe and his team will contact you. And you guys will, I think, as an all-in-one solution, guys, there are so many features and things that we do. We can't even talk. I mean, it's like a 45-minute demo to go through all of it. There's that much. And even going through all of that, you probably only go through what? Like half of it or 30%? And it's impossible.
Scratch the surface. Yeah.
You'll see all of the other stuff when you become a member too. But but you'll be able to go through all of that stuff in like all the gory detail and ask any of the questions that you want when you actually are taking that next step with the demo request. So.
Okay, Jesse, you're up next. Go, Jesse. You'll have to unmute your mic, Jesse, if you've got it mute. No, it sounds like you're there. Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Really nice to meet you guys. I love what you do, and I think you really have a lot of care for your people that are on your site, and that's, to me, a big differentiator. So
thanks for saying that.
A lot of
Thank you.
appreciation for that. I'm very unique, and I hope I don't bore anybody because I'm a very different kind of a scenario here. I've had a successful commercial career doing a lot of advertising, editorial work, and I'm now wanting to transition more. And I've always kept my exhibition print sales as a back burner secondary sale. So I have a major marketing problem because I never put any effort into it. As a commercial photographer, I also always had agents that did all the marketing. And so I was very lazy. I only wanted to work on my work and never learned anything about marketing. So now, although I have a body of, I guess, quote unquote, personal work, the most I've ever done is a constant contact account and with a lot of email connections with interior designers. We don't do any regular emailing, so I don't have any consistency. So I'm a total mess. I'll admit that.
You're like every single person who joins Art Storefronts.
Okay. No, I'm obviously that's my role here. But some people, what I like about them, and I'm very envious, is that they're very focused. They do one thing and they do it over and over and over. Just like Basquiat or some of the other great artists. They do one thing, they know what it is, and then you just run with the marketing. Because I've had a variety of focuses in my career, I've done still life and portraits, and some of my portraits, some of the most famous portraits in history. And I relied a lot on those sales. So when you go to my website, you'll see all of this stuff, which, you know, it's not a mess. It works commercially, but I don't get any sales, obviously, of my prints through that site. It's only because I reference it and people then go to look at the site to see the work, but they don't actually buy anything. It's not an e-commerce setup. And I have a lot of issues. The other issues is that I've noticed that just by simple math and what you guys have said, your average sales of your of the people that are on your platform are $150 a print. My average prints go for thousands of dollars.
Where did you hear that?
That just don't exist. That's just what people. Your numbers were $10 million in sales for a quarter, and 67,000 units were sold. Prints were sold. That's $150 a print.
Yeah, that's not a you can't make that type of a math. It's way too inaccurate because we have 30% of our customers are like original painter artists that don't even sell prints. All they sell is like
I get that. An average is not really fair, but
it's impossible.
For people that are selling prints and not selling the original work, generally when I go on these sites, I've been on Saatchi and other sites, a lot of prints for a relatively small size print are $150 a print on average, in my view, and that varies, of course. But the point is that it's a few $100 versus my prints that sell through galleries for several thousand.
Wait, but Jesse, you're going to sell. You are your own business. You have not, like any other Art Storefronts customer is totally irrelevant to your business because your price point is your price point, and you're going to sell at your price point. That's what you're going to do, right? So, like for example, the original painters, the artists that we have and photographers that only sell limited editions, they sell limited editions. Their average sale is $2,000, right? Like that person's is $2,000. Then there's, artists and photographers who sell only open editions. Maybe their average is $150, but you're going to sell what you market and what and you're going to try to build clientele, the same type of clientele that's buying your work and all the other venues that you've sold at. Like that's what we're going to strive to do. I'm going to want to know everything about where you were selling and how and who your customer is and all that stuff. And we want to build that customer, find more of those types of people to buy more of your work the way you've been selling it, the prices you've been selling it at.
Well, that's a really good point. I really appreciate that remark. I guess my situation is that I get very confused because I have very different varied work. Whereas what I love about a lot of the people that are on your platform is they have singular focus work. So, for example,
well, we have a lot of people. In fact, I'd have to say at least half have a ton of stuff and in all sorts of categories and niches, and they're asking us all the time, which one should I focus on? Which one should I focus on? So we got everything.
Right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I get very confused with this, and I go back and forth. I followed you guys for a little bit. I never thought these kind of things were for me, and for the most part, a lot of them are not. I just feel I don't fit the typical customer. But I really like you guys a lot, and I like how you think, and I like the e-commerce, and I like all the marketing ideas, which I think is really what it is. But I just feel a lot of times with the online business, and this is just a sense, this is not based on any factual information, is that people are buying inexpensive prints online for decorative purposes. They're not buying high-end art. And I'm not trying to put down anybody or elevate myself. I certainly am struggling more than most of you people there on selling fine art. But and you have a lot of talented people as well. It's just that it's very hard for me to, if I sell a print of my Kurt Cobain portrait, which is probably my most famous portraits in a gallery, how can I sell it also by myself on this site for a lot less money? So I'm trying to figure those kinds of things out.
Jesse, you're doing the same thing as Keitha. You're walking up to the restaurant and you're not sitting down to order. You don't have a problem, dude. You can sell for whatever price point you want, right? For whatever one you want. Well, we have people that price originals.
I can ask for thousands. That doesn't mean I'm going to sell it.
Yeah, but exactly. But you're not even giving it a shot. How do you know? You don't know what you don't know. None of us know what we don't know. All you need to do is you obviously have a huge brand. You obviously have huge celebrity clientele. You're just getting in your own way. All you have to do is put it online and start marketing. It is not any more complicated than that. We have people that price things at $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, and they're selling them. They're selling them.
Yeah, exactly. Like last week, we interviewed one of our painters live, Jesse. Like literally in the last week and a half, she sold like over $10,000. Okay. Two originals. I think they were like 2,500 each. She sold like a handful of limited editions that averaged like $1,200 to $1,500. And then she sold, a handful of open editions that were $300 to $500. And that just happened, right? That's her site and her business. And I think you're making there's a really good point to make here, because I want you to take all those generalities that you were just talking about, like you've mentioned like 5 of them, and they're very common, right? Like only cheap prints sell online, right? I've got this, I'm different, I'm unique. And the thing is, take all of those and throw them out, because we're going to build, like, when we're working with artists, it has nothing to do with generalities, right? Like, we're going to build your business specific to your situation, right? You're not going to come in and we're saying like, hey, Jesse, you need to change everything and like mold it to like this model that we have, this general model of selling prints at like $150 or anything like that. Not at all. Zero of that. This is, Jesse, what is going on with your business right now? What is working? Okay. And we're going to amplify the crap out of that. Okay. We're going to remove all of the things that don't matter. Take all the things out of your head that you're thinking about that are wasting time on marketing. Just, you know what I mean? Like, and focus plan, focus growth, and that's it. It's that simple, right? So all those generalities, they're all mental. They're in your head and they're getting in your way. They're not real. I promise you that. And if you don't believe me, if you don't believe us, that's okay. Talk to some of our artists. Talk to these people. Send them an email.
I would love to. I'd have no connection.
Send an email to Meg Knappenberger, Matthew Laka. Well, you know what? Chris, in the show notes, can you link a couple of these people down here? Because Jesse, you got to understand, anytime that generality gets in your mind, just get it out, because it's stopping you. I can see it stopping you, as Patrick said, from getting in the restaurant and executing when these things just don't exist. Like a month ago, a guy just sold a $20,000 original from his website. And he calls us and he's just like over the moon. He couldn't believe it. It was a web order, $20,000 original, you know? That guy is not selling anything less than like $15,000 on his site. Has nothing to do with prints. There's no prints, there's no nothing. We even have people on the platform, all they sell are commissions because the prints just don't work for their niche. They tried, and we're helping them build a business based on commission work, you know, like just crushing it. So it doesn't matter. It's what's so important is your specific business and growing the Jesse Froman brand. Is that your last name? Froman is.
Yes, you added me, but okay, no.
So that brand and what works for you, and that's all that matters. None of this other stuff matters. It's just
that's very reassuring and encouraging. I have one other question. I'll let you go. Some other people have better questions than I. I already have a website, and I use it for my commercial work. Are you suggesting that I have a second website?
Yep, store dot.
How do you do that?
Yep. So if it's jessefroman.com, you do store.jessefroman.com. You keep your commercial site going, and then you look at your other one. But we would look at the stats, we would look at the data, we'd see how much traffic you're getting, we'd see what kind of content you have on there, and then we'd give you the advice from there. But we're utterly, totally, and completely agnostic, right? Like if you want to put it on a subdomain, if you want to put it on a different domain, subdomain would be store.jessefroman.com, right? And then
I would always go with jessefromanfineart.com and do it that way. But you can cross promote the sites, right? That's what I would suggest. So you think of the Art Storefront site, you're opening an art gallery, like a physical art gallery, your own. It just happens to be online, right? And so that art gallery site, that's what that is for. But you could have a link in there that's like, that promotes the other one, like your commercial business. And then on your commercial site, you link to this to be your art store, right? To shop art. You would have a shop art link, and it would go over to jessefromanfineart.com, and then you're good to go.
Right. And that's a case by case thing, Jesse. Sometimes you could merge it all into one site. Sometimes it makes sense to keep them separate. It really is like, use us how you need us. We want you to do what's best for your business on that. So it varies. So we're always happy to talk you through that as well when you come on board.
Good question. Okay, Dave, you're up next. Go.
Hi. Thanks for taking my question.
No problem.
Obviously, can you hear
me?
Hi,
Dave.
Yep.
Yeah, we got you.
Hi. So my biggest problem is hitting the right target audience. I've been doing creative development and global marketing for 30 years commercially, and I'm kind of getting back into fine art on the side. And I'll give you like the best example. Like, I do a lot of work. I post on Instagram, but for example, on Friday, I posted a new work. I had 89 impressions. 16% were people that weren't following me, which is annoying. And then, one of the people that liked my work was a gallery owner in LA that has 3 galleries, in LA, Miami, and London. And it's like, if I could get in front of more people like that, my work would do a lot better. And it's very niche-y. It's sort of like conceptually based material.
Well, how are you, there's only one way to get your work in front of more people like that, right?
Well, I mean, I've tried doing contests. I've tried doing cross promotions. I've tried having other people take over my Instagram account. The thing is that I think that the people that are interested in my work are very well guarded. So if I've tried developing relationships with galleries that specialize in my medium, they just have very high walls. And I think that,
what kind of work do you do again?
So, I mean, I've been doing iconography with drains for 25 years, right? And I mean, my work is very pretty on the surface. Like right now I do a lot of sculptural work. So it has, it's wall art. So it has leather and hides and painted drains and things like that. So it's very livable.
Have you sold any of it?
No.
Okay. All right. So you're a startup business.
Right.
Yep. And you just need to get started. And you got a long way to go, and it's all about, consistency at the end of the day. And I wouldn't worry too much about those galleries because the galleries can't help you right now. And I don't know when they're going to be able to help you. I mean, the galleries were on death's doorstep before the pandemic happened. Like they were going out of business in droves for the last like 5 to 10 years as the online market could continue to grow. You know, and then so this pandemic, I don't know what's going to happen with the art galleries after this pandemic. I mean, seriously. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But when it comes to like the online marketing, I mean, what we're doing here and what works is a consistent marketing plan. It's not any one channel. It's not Instagram. It's Instagram, Facebook, email. You know, it's all the different channels together that all work with each other to make things happen. And just getting likes and impressions on Instagram. I was saying this to one of our members the other day, was like, I did this post, you know, and I put some ads behind it or whatever it was, and it got like 100 likes, you know, but it didn't turn into you know, nobody went back to my website. And Patrick and I both said, it just doesn't matter. That doesn't mean anything. It's vanity metrics. The only thing that matters is getting these people back to your website and acquiring the email, because that's getting a lead, right? And you need leads in order to get sales. It's just typical sales 101, right? You got to put leads in the top of the funnel and a certain percentage will come out the bottom. So until your digital marketing is actually producing leads, then it's not really doing anything yet, okay? Now you're just starting out. So like if I were you, I have specific advice, like since you haven't sold anything yet, I think the best thing that you can do, and this goes for anybody in the same position, is you got to try to make a sale like as soon as you can, right? Like try to sell something, try to make a sale to some perfect strangers, sell as many of them as you can. And the best way to do that is usually when things are open, we tell people offline, like go do an art fair, an art show, a local art show, or like a farmer's market, just anywhere to get in front of people really quickly, because in one weekend you can make a couple of sales and kind of validate everything. But because you can't do that right now, I think the next best thing that you can do is make an Instagram, Facebook post, whatever emails you have, send out a message that says something like, hey, I'm just getting my art business off the ground and this is my first sale, right? To celebrate it, this time only, I'm offering a 50% discount on this piece, okay? Let me tell you about it, and then give some inspiration behind what it is, you know, kind of sell them on it, on like, so that they can have an emotional connection with your subject matter, with whatever you're doing, right? And that way you're offering a really good deal and there's urgency on it, and see what happens. Because if you can't make that sale happen, then there's a deeper problem there potentially. And no matter what marketing we do, it's not going to help. So that's what I would do right away, because I think you could do it today, and put a couple pieces up and do that and give people a really good deal. Like, I'm never going to do this again because I'm just trying to get my business off the ground, and see what happens.
And I would also say, Dave, I've heard your question 1,000 times in 1,000 different ways. Number one, until ATM machines start spitting out likes and impressions and in video views that you can go spend, stop worrying about that nonsense. Doesn't matter. That's number one. Number two, I can tell by the tone of your question, you're looking for one thing. It's not one thing. It's never one thing. It never was one thing. The way that marketing works, and it's a very succinct analogy, you and I both have a boat, Dave, okay? We're leaving from the same harbor. We each have a captain. We're going fishing, okay? You have gas, a captain. I have gas, a captain. We leave at the same time. Your boat, you're looking for the one thing. So you've got that one line in the water. You've got the one fishing pole. The thing that I have is I have fishing poles. I have harpoons. I have lobster pots. I've got nets. I've got shotguns, kites, buoys, because that's what marketing is. It's not ever one thing. It's never one thing. It is all of it consistently working together. You need to be gathering emails. You need to be running giveaways occasionally. You need to be optimizing your website. You need to be emailing that list on a regular and consistent basis. You need to be posting on Instagram. You need to be posting on Facebook. You need to be doing all of the above consistently. Then you get into ads as you start getting a little bit more mature. When you have all of that working at once, the ocean is a big place, my friend. You cannot steam out to the middle of the ocean with your one line in the water and think that that's going to do it. It's never going to do it. Not only do I have all of those lines in the water, I have all of those lines in the water every single solitary time I go fishing, which is consistently and weekly. You do that, You do that, and the residue of that execution is how you find the one channel that's going to work for you best. But it's never one channel. It's never one thing. It's doing all of it consistently. And that's what we teach you to do. And there will never be the one thing. That's what I would say. Okay, Michael, you're up next. Michael, go. Michael Brown.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, Michael.
Former art fair artist. Now they're canceled.
Yeah,
And
sorry, man.
In your background right there? Or
What's that?
Canon?
Oh, Epson.
Epson.
So I've just transitioned to online selling. I really have hidden my website for many years because I wanted to do face-to-face.
Yeah.
So I've started, the Facebook Pixel. I'm running video ads. I'm driving people to the website.
Mm-hmm.
I took Patrick's message of aspirational goal of 3,000 website visitors a month. I'm about halfway there now.
Good for
I'm
you.
getting people to the site. I'm not getting them to sign up for a mail list, and I need to incentivize that. And that's where I want your advice.
Michael, are you a member?
No.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
What kind of website do you have?
What kind of website? Shopify.
Shopify, got it.
Yep.
And what is the lead capture currently? What is the offer that you have?
No offer. That's my problem. It's just, sign up for my mail list for, future incentives and invitations to events, things of that nature.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're making sales?
Yeah. Well, let me rephrase. I have a existing customer base, so I have been selling to them. So far through the Facebook, I've made maybe 2 or 3 sales, but I'm trying to get my cost of selling down for Facebook. So I'm ramping up the whole Facebook marketing now, and I have sales coming in for both the Facebook and from traditional.
I mean, here's what I would tell you, because you're way down the line in the process. Like, you need to hire a consultant, okay? Like, to help you with marketing. Like, you're way down. Everything that, like, our next advice is all specific to our platform, so we can't help you with it, right? You have a Shopify site, so I would start telling you, hey, I want you to activate this tool, this feature on our thing, but they don't have that. And but you're at the point where, like, you're at the crux where, you should probably be hiring a marketing consultant of some sort. We obviously have a product that is a marketing consulting product, right? And so you have that need. So you kind of have to figure that out,
Gotcha.
Because it's way more like us going into Facebook ads and doing that right now. That's a whole can of worms. We have a whole course on it specifically for our members. That's like, Patrick did it. And it's like, I mean, Pat, how long is it? Is it like 45 minutes of videos?
Yeah, here's what I would say, big picture, and I can build on the last analogy that I had, right? We advocate for our customers do not in capitalize run cold ads on Facebook. And there's a reason for that. We're not against cold ads. We run cold ads. I love cold ads. I run over $2 million in Facebook spend.
These are to my customers and lookalikes, so
which is good. Which is good. Which is the warm. But the point about paid traffic is exactly the fishing analogy, right? Like, if you think you're going to be able to go into the Facebook casino and put money on the table and get paid, if you don't have the rest of your marketing stuff in place, you're not emailing on a regular basis, you're not posting on the socials on a regular basis, you're not running sales, you're not doing hand-to-hand combat and following up with people individually, it's very, very difficult to see an ROI out of the paid traffic. So it's that same fishing analogy, right? Like, everybody has their one line in the water, they steam out to the ocean, they throw the money in the Facebook casino, and they're like, this is not working, I quit, I give up. Even if you did hire a consultant that helps you with the targeting, helps you with the tactics, the copy, the images, and how to go about that, if you don't have the rest of the marketing ecosystem there to support it, you'll never be able to get enough of an ROI out of it. And that's like the big picture, macro question about it. So to Nick's point, like, hire a consultant. You are probably there to that level, or you can keep learning and leveling it up and doing it. But if you don't have all the pieces, it is very, very difficult. I mean, it happens sometimes with weird niches and diehard niches that are just like, they're crazy for the product. But otherwise, it's really hard to do. It's really, really hard to do, and it's getting harder and harder and harder because Facebook ads marketplace is not what it was 10 years ago when no one had it figured out. A lot of people have it figured out now. So for you, you've got to get your lead capture on point. That needs to be coming in. You need to be emailing on a regular basis. You need to be posting on Facebook. You need to be posting on Instagram on a regular basis. You need to be having sales at the right time, running the right techniques for the sales, because at the end of the day, with these cold traffic, like, not everybody buys right away. A lot of people are not going to buy for 3 months, for 6 months, for 9 months, a year, sometimes 2 years. And so you constantly need to be filling up your funnel and constantly need to be having the sales. I use a lot of fishing analogies. One, because I think they just work well, but two, I do like fishing. It's not like I go fishing all the time, but I like it. you know, everybody thinks that there's just all of these fish in the water right underneath your boat ready to bite. And that's not the way that it works. A lot of times they're down low. They're way down low in the water. So you might have a couple of fish that swim up and you get them on your email list from a Facebook ad. That's fantastic. Well, guess what they do? They go right back down to the bottom of the ocean floor and they're down there. And they're not seeing your message. They're not reading your emails. They don't know what you're doing. They don't see anything. And then all of a sudden they come up again. And if you don't have your marketing in the water when they come up, you're not catching anything. That's just not the way that it works. So the consistent and regular focused marketing in all of the channels with the sales, all the tactical that we teach, if you're not doing that all the time, I don't care what business you're in, you will never see the ROI out of cold traffic or warm traffic even in terms of Facebook ads. So that's what I would say.
You know what else I would say, Michael, is like and I'm not selling you on this at all, right? But you are literally like a perfect fit for Art Storefronts. You are like the exact guy that is perfect for Art Storefronts. And I'll tell you why. Because you're operating already like a real business, right? You're already doing marketing. I can see exactly where you're coming from, and you're asking intelligent questions, and you're an intelligent guy. You are like the ideal fit for what we're doing. But what I will tell you is, that's your decision on what to do. If you want to stay doing what you're doing, I would just say, keep cracking at it, hire some sort of a consultant or whatever, look at what all of that costs, get somebody to help you with some of that stuff. Try to do it yourself if you can, whatever you're going to do. And in 6 months, if it doesn't work out and you're not happy with it, and you think that we can help you, because I know we can help you, that's just a fact, right? Then consider coming on board, because you're literally a perfect fit. Like we could do great things with you. So I'm just telling you that. But it's your call, like we never force anyone into this. We just like lay the facts out. It's like, hey, like if you can hack it on your own and do it and that's working for you, then go for it. Like high fives, we support you. No worries. But if you think you can help, if you think you need the help, we can certainly do that.
And if you do get a consultant, here's the other thing about a consultant. And I learned this lesson so early in my career. Whether it's a consultant or it's advertising, you have to understand and you have to have the perspective of how long things take. It doesn't matter if you hire the best Facebook ads guy in the world or the best consultant in the world. You have to go into those engagements with the consistency of the term. You have to say, okay, I'm not just going to start running Facebook ads and I'm not just going to hire a consultant. I'm going to run Facebook ads and hire a consultant for a year. And you mentally commit to a year's worth of steady and consistent. If you do that and you get in that place in your mind where you're like, I'm going to invest whatever I'm going to invest, I'm going to do it for 12 months, that money's gone, I've already spent it mentally, and then stay at it consistently, that's where you win. That's where like the profound power of it all comes. And then you have your sales in there and everything else. But I think you're doing great, and I think you're on the right path if you stay at it consistently.
Can you unmute Michael real quick?
Yeah, I lost him. Hold on.
Michael, just so I can learn, why have you not joined? Why would you not, like, is there any reason you haven't joined? I'm just curious.
It's all so new, right? So up until a month ago, I was doing the shows. They're now canceled.
And you already had the Shopify site and you're all set up over there already.
Right. And I only use that as a last resort. I always tried to sell face-to-face. So I had it there, and now I'm just ramping it up.
What you should consider doing is, because you could do this really fast, you should consider, if you join, you can continue with the existing site that you have and get the marketing advice, and then slowly move stuff over, because eventually everybody eventually moves everything over, because all the tools and everything, you're just not using them, and you see that. But the reason I say that, like, I have to like just be completely real with everyone. Like when I say hire a consultant, I'm saying that I like a little bit tongue in cheek, because the consultants cost $100 and $200 an hour, right? And you can't really find art marketing consultants that are, you get a Facebook ad guy. That's not an art ad. It's different. The art industry is just different, right? And we're charging on our membership levels, right? Like the beginning discounted price is $1,000 for marketing consulting for life. Like, just wrap your head around that. It's unbelievable, And the reason we're doing that is because we want people on the platform, because if you're on the platform and you're paying the monthly fees and stuff like that. Like that's where we make our money. Like when we make you successful, we make more money when you are more successful, right? And so the deal is it's just amazing for that. But I still say that just so you know what it is that we offer, and you make the decision and you take your time on that.
Thank you.
Okay, I got to get out of this. All right, Eduardo Gomez, you're up next. Eduardo, you there?
Yes. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Eduardo.
Good to see you guys.
You
yeah,
too.
likewise.
Yeah, I've been very interested in your platform. I'm a 3D guy. It's a little bit different. I'm a sculptor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a working artist. I sell stuff. I do a lot of commission work. I do. I teach also, and
you teach like painting?
No, I teach sculpture.
Yeah.
Oh, sculpture. Got it.
Yeah. I teach, so I have a somewhat of a following. I'm a local guy, a local artist here in Florida. I've done some public work. I'm a figurative artist. I mainly do cast bronze work. My stuff is high end and expensive. I've always I've been kind of interested in what you guys are doing mainly because of the situation we're all living. I'm teaching virtual classes right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the only thing, and I had one of your sales guys call me, and I have a couple of questions because I'm not sure. I like two things about what I've heard. Okay. Number one, you guys have a structured marketing approach.
Yep.
And as an artist, I can tell you that most of us required structured marketing approach. Now I have
all of us
Facebook,
do, artist or not. We all do. We all need a structured
I'm on
approach.
Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I do MailChimp things, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
I have I'm not a startup business. But I'm very interested in evolving because my boots on the ground approach it may not be the right thing for this time.
Yeah. The other just universal truth almost about photographers and artists, you're solopreneurs. You don't have a big organization or a bunch of employees or like a big team. And let me tell you, that's a lonely road. It's a damn lonely road. It is. And so, in addition to the structure, I would say it's not even just the structure, it's the continued motivation. It's almost like, because of these Zoom calls week in and week out, same people, week in, week out, constantly on it and on it and on it. Like when you're just on the low of the roller coaster that is being an entrepreneur and getting kicked in the teeth, you need to get bucked up a little bit sometimes too. We all need that, right? Like you need the kick in the pants, like, wait a minute, this worked. And you hear other people's success and it breeds more success. You feed on it, right? So the structured support is important, but man, not having to be at it alone all the time and having some community is a huge part of it too. It's huge.
Yeah, I got a question. The question specifically relates to some of your more tools, some of your tools for display.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at you guys are really, or maybe you started maybe as a 2D system, and maybe you have more customers in that area, in that thing. And I do some wall work because I do some flat low reliefs and things like that. But mainly, I don't see why we could not develop a similar type of thing for sculpture. I can tell you that sculpture that sells is only a certain size. Most people can't put many sizes of sculpture inside a normal house, and it always goes in a specific pedestal, and I mean, if you can put a picture next to a couch to show it to somebody, why can't you put a pedestal with something there, and also have a tool so that you can increase the size and lower the size, etc., like you guys do? I love all that, but I can't use it.
Eduardo, yeah, we can do that, but we haven't done it.
I can help you guys do that.
No, Eduardo. Okay, so
use me as your.
I love it. When we are ready to do that, you're talking to the CEO and the owner right now, right? Like, when you are ready to do it, we will contact you. We are not doing it by choice. We have unprecedented demand for the wall art, you know, and the customers coming on. We will get there probably at some point, but we are just not doing that yet. So that's why.
Yeah, and it's an issue of focus. It's an issue of focus. Like,
it's focus. Every business has to focus. I've made this mistake so many times in my career with 6 startups that I've done, right? And I fall for it. I almost fall for it every time. I almost fell for it a week ago, Joseph, with the Print Studios. I almost fell for it again, right? I won't go into it, but there, you know, as a business owner, you don't sell everything just because you can. You don't do that. You have to focus in an area where you can really make people successful with your products and amazing. And I just refuse to do anything less than that standard. And so if I can't be amazing for you, I'm not going to do anything yet. I will wait until I can, and then we'll just be honest with you up front, right? Like, it's not a good fit right now. When it is, we're calling Eduardo.
Yep. And
Eduardo.
Notate his Salesforce account.
By the way, I also want to, let's make a note in Salesforce for that, Joseph. I also want to say, Eduardo, great job, like on the executing that you're doing on Instagram, and you're adjusting. I wanted to tell you that too. Like, you're adjusting, and you have to do that, and I'm proud of you for that. Good job.
Okay, Janice, you're up next. Janice, go.
Yes, it's pronounced Giannis.
Giannis.
Yeah, I'm a foreigner. So I came, like Jesse, came from a commercial background, did really well, did my last assignment in January, and I want to go into, quote, the fine art market. My background is like, I did a bunch of books with, you know, the major publishers, Chronicle. The last one was with a Chinese publisher in China on Chinese wineries. I've got a great in the China, or in the wine area. And I've been selling prints, just no marketing, nothing. People just call me up and say, hey, I'm remodeling. I need prints.
Are they Chinese buyers?
I went in to a winery, saw one of my prints, and he said, oh, I want a 6-footer of that.
Which wineries? Like, are you talking now? These are U.S. wineries?
These are U.S. wineries.
Oh, okay, and these are U.S. customers that are buying these, right?
These are U.S. customers that are buying it.
Okay.
And, you know, it's like, and I do stuff on Facebook, and I do stuff on Instagram, and
do you have a website?
Yes, I do have a website, and I'm just kind of building it so that it's more toward the fine art kind of market. And I'm doing a couple of things. Is like, the sales have been all in the wine business, and I've been even thinking about doing things like, you know, doing cross promotions with wineries. You know, it's like, you know, like, sell 3 bottles and you get a print or something along that line, or at a festival or something like that. But my marketing, I hate to use the word, sucks. It's
honest. So what website do you have? What platform are you using?
Squarespace, and I can.
Once again, you are an ideal fit for Art Storefronts. Ideal. You're like the perfect fit for what we do. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You're in a position where you've sold your art, you have demand, people are like pulling it out of you, right? So you've like validated that your art is selling. You're doing marketing. You've got like.
No, wait, I'm not doing marketing.
No, you're not doing marketing. Well, in a way you are, because you're in these wineries. You have exposure there. Technically, that's marketing, but that's okay. All right. But But because you are making sales and that's happening with the least little bit that you're doing, says that you have a lot of potential, okay? And an artist or a photographer in your position, once you know that you're like, if you have some validation like that, or you know you're going to be doing this for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and I'm speaking to other people right now as well, right? The best thing that you can do right now is properly equip yourself, to position your business to succeed for the next 10 years, right? And so a Squarespace website is the first problem. It's a generic website, right? It's not meant for selling art. Selling art is a very intricate process. It's very high friction, and with friction, that means that, when people are buying, it's not like a Squarespace site, it's for any type of a business. Like you're buying, somebody's selling toilet paper, you just buy the toilet paper, you check out, there's no big deal. With art, there's so much friction. Like people like, what size should I get? I don't even understand what the size aspect ratios really are. How's it going to look on my wall, right? Is it going to mesh well with my wall color? All these different things are the things that art.com and all these other companies figured out for
Nick,
the last 15 years.
Do a screen share. Do a screen share while you're articulating this. Do this.
Well, no, it's okay. And these features, they successively added these features to their sites over the years. Framing tools, even if people aren't going to buy a frame from you, people don't realize this. Even if you're not going to sell any frames, people plan on getting it framed, after they buy their piece, because that's the finished product in the house. And so if you need your website to facilitate all of this, and all this is just taking your customer and providing the best customer experience possible. So my point here is, we live in the age of customer experience. If you know you're going to be in this business, then properly equip yourself with something that's meant for selling art and is going to give your customer the best experience possible, right?
It's interesting. You mentioned about the framing and things like that. It's like on my site, it's like I actually talk about that, because when people call me, they say, oh, I need a 16 by 20. And I say, well, where's it going to go? Put up a yardstick and show on the wall, what a 16 by 20. And
exactly.
Usually it looks like an 8 by 10 on your wall. So I cover those kinds of things. Like the website that I'm building covers, those kinds of things. I did like your suggestions about making it personal and doing videos, and being excited about the thing. I also want to expand out more than just doing, beautiful scenic vineyards around the world. I want to expand out into, we bought a cabin, and so I photograph a lot on this beautiful river. It's a wild river, and I want to sell, that kind of material too. So I'm at a loss.
What I would tell you first is, before you do that, focus. When the market is telling you that some of your content is working, exploit that content. Take the marketing as far as it can go on the content that's working before you just open up another niche, because a new niche is a whole new, you're starting over on marketing again, essentially, with people who are going to be connected with the subject matter of that new niche, right? Some of them might have a connection with you, and so maybe part of it will cross over, but it's a whole nother animal. All right. But let me show you this here, because Giannis, I don't know if you know about our proper art gallery websites at Art Storefronts. That's one of the main things that we do, right? And so I'm showing you a customer site right now. And can you guys see this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it.
So this is a typical, this is what I would call, what we call a proper art gallery website that's giving a great buying experience. And I'll explain why. So you launch the page. I haven't touched anything yet. And I've got all the media types listed out here. We call this exploded media types, because you don't have a drop-down menu where somebody has to click on each one, right? And then there's no description, or they have to read a description after the thing loads. Instead, you just hover right over these, and it tells you exactly what it is, maybe even has a picture. And then when you click it, it gives a live 3D preview of that media type. So I click on Canvas, and you can see this has a 3D preview of a gallery wrap on here. You see what I mean? And then I'll stick with the paper so I can show you the framing tool. So then you go over to the styles, and I click on frames. So now it starts loading up these frames. So this is this white frame. Here's this black frame, gold. And this is just out of the box at Art Storefronts. It's just, you don't have to do anything. You get all of this. It just works, right? And so all that's ready to go. And then, I'll go like, here's metal. Like I'm just clicking on metal. Now I get to the live preview with AR. So this will launch an augmented reality on a phone, right? Where if somebody is on mobile, if they're not, this thing will tell you, you can put your, I don't know if this is getting covered here, but you can email yourself a link so that you can actually just immediately, the buyer can immediately get a link on their phone and then try the art on their wall, in their home, on the spot. Like, think about how amazing that is. Like, you literally open it up. They don't have to download an app or anything. And then on the wall in their home, they can project the image and they can play with the sizes and everything and actually see how it will look in the wall of their own home. It's phenomenal. There's a photographer of ours, John Lechner, in Australia, and he was written up by a newspaper because he tripled his sales after he launched that tool on Art Storefronts. Okay? Like, these are the things that, like, people are like, how's this going to look in my home? Well, there's no better way of taking something off a website and like actually bringing it right in the wall of their home to get them to close the deal on the spot and make the purchase. There's no friction at all. So you see how much friction is getting removed from that. So even if somebody doesn't have, their phone on them or whatever, you've got the wall preview tool. We kind of consider this a backup option, right? So this loads different rooms. They can look at it in different rooms, and you see the 7-foot reference here. They change the size, right? They can do that and get an idea of what that'll look like if in any type of a room. They can change the wall color. All of these wall colors right here, Giannis, are the best-selling paint colors from Benjamin Moore and Sherman-Williams, the paint manufacturing companies. So these are the ones that are in the walls of people's homes the most. So you see what we're doing? We're making sure that you are literally like, somebody's like, oh, hey, I like that art piece, but I'm not sure if it's gonna fit on my wall. Nope, we got your wall color right here. And all of this is working for you in the background. You're not even, you don't even know this is happening because people are just visiting your website and they're interacting with these tools. And we see it in all of our data because we capture, anytime somebody uses the wall preview tool or the augmented reality, we capture an event in the back end, and you can see the people who did it. Like, you can even see buyers that come back to your site like 6 months down the road, or I'm sorry, not even buyers, like subscribers, somebody that signed up for your email list, and you can see that they came back and they used the augmented reality tool. So you know that they're way down the sales funnel, and you might want to send them an email and say, hey, is there anything I can help you with? I'd love to help you any way I can or make any recommendations. And those types of contacts actually work. So anyways, the point here is this is what we call a proper art gallery website, because it removes all the friction that is inherent in the art buying process, so that when you have it as an artist or photographer, you do not need to worry about anything. You're not building websites. You're not hiring developers. That's the last thing we want you doing. We want you to literally launch this site in 2 weeks, put your art up there, and get started on the marketing program, because the marketing is the whole differentiator. That's all that matters. We're constantly adding features to this. It never ends. And so it's nothing that you ever need to worry about. We're constantly looking at all of the data. We're changing things around to make the conversion rates even higher. The conversion rate is the percentage of visitors that turn into buyers. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that you knew all of that, because this is the difference between a generic website platform, right? There's a ton of them: GoDaddy, Squarespace, Shopify, just go down the list, right? You can pick any one. And one that is specifically designed for the art industry, for the experience of the art buyer, in order to have the maximum conversion rates. So at the end of the day, what happens is, when you have a proper art gallery website, if you have 1,000 visitors, a higher percentage of those are going to convert into buyers than a generic website that doesn't have these types of features, okay? And so as you're doing marketing, doing more marketing, and you're bringing traffic to the site, you want to convert the maximum amount possible. So Patrick's showing the augmented reality right now. He's doing it live. So He's showing you that in the wall in his own house as we speak, right? So this is what your buyers can do. So he's dragging it around. He can put it on any wall, and they can do it in literally 2 seconds. Like, done. I see it on my wall. I see the size. I am ready to add this to my cart and check out. Like, this is what you need one way or the other, whether it's with us or you hire developers to do it. Nobody's ever done that. It doesn't exist. There's no point in doing that. But I hope that makes sense, because you just need, when you're in the position that you are, Giannis, you've got the traction, like you've got validation, just get a proper art gallery website, and then 99% of your time is going to be on marketing for the next 20 years, right? And you'll build a great business.
Not any more difficult than that. Otto, you're up next. Otto, you ready?
Yes, I am. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing, man? Happy Saturday.
Yeah, happy Saturday. So I'm just going to share a little bit about where I'm at today that could be helpful for others that are on the fence or questioning whether to sign up or not. I was with you guys for a little bit in, I think it was the fall of 2017, maybe. I got a master's degree in art in 2009, and I never cared about marketing. I'm also a musician. I just wanted to make the best product that I could. I didn't call it a product, and always hated that. And then I started to generate some good sales in 2018, and that led me to check you guys out. In the interim, and actually it might have been 2017. In the interim, I have started selling on Amazon and doing a lot of e-commerce sales, and I've started to see the relative value of products. So as I'm selling, videos and books and all these things, I'm seeing this is art that someone made that is now worth $2, and then this one is worth $1,000. So my relationship to my own work has changed so much in terms of the relative value that I don't have to be so emotionally attached to a piece to not want to sell it for $100 when that's what the market rate is. And I got an email from you guys inviting me back, and that kind of started this process again. And I'm finally at a place now where, Nick, I feel like I've seen you before, and I don't know if it's just because there's, I'm sure that you're familiar with Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So many of the things that you're talking about, over the last year that I've been diving deep into all of this are just like clicking yes, 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 yes. I'm also, one of the things that I wanted to echo back to the gentleman that was talking about, he's been a professional, he's not sure how to transition. Self-limiting beliefs is one of the biggest things that I'm experiencing more consciously now. And Gary Vee's big thing is let the market decide. And so coming at this, I'm one of those guys that does figurative work, does abstract work, does all kinds of different stuff, and have had confusion around that. And now I feel like coming back to you guys, utilizing the marketing, which I've never done, I'm now confident that the work that's meant to come to the surface is going to come. And the work that I'll generate revenue from, will make itself apparent. And I've never been more excited. Everything that you guys are talking about, especially Nick, yesterday when you guys did your little stream, that whole essence of this is business concentrated. And as an artist coming from, not only do I have personal self-limiting beliefs, the art industry infuses us with self-limiting beliefs.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
And I had to
Otto, that drives me crazy. That fact, I mean, I've been in the industry for 20 years, so I've seen it all, I mean, I've literally interacted with, I don't even know, 20, 30, 50,000 artists and photographers at this point, right? I've seen it everywhere, and it just drives me nuts because I'm like, where are you guys getting this? And it's just getting pumped from all over, a random blog post, a podcast episode, a gallery owner. And then other artists and photographers who are already hypnotized with this way of thinking, right? They have this filtered thinking, and they're telling everybody, oh, you should do this and you should do that. And it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I relate to it like religion. The art world is a religion unto itself. It's got the gatekeepers and the proselytizers and all that stuff.
Totally.
And so now, having been immersed in e-commerce for the last year and a half or so, and really just starting to recognize that the market doesn't care about you, do what you do. And if you want to follow the stream and try to develop, then that's on you. But otherwise, you can be a painter in your garage for your whole life and be happy. There's nothing wrong with that,
Absolutely.
So you guys mentioned yesterday, I don't really have any specific questions at this moment, just because I know it will all be unveiled. Oh, the one question that I have is, could you reference or talk just a little bit about the context of your weekly Zooms?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Tuesday and Thursday. So Tuesday we have what we call office hours. And it's usually like a general Q&A just like this with Art Storefronts members, right? And then Wednesday is the marketing launch for new customers and website audit workshop. And what we tell everybody is like, you just go to that usually like once or twice and then you're done. You're good to go. You're in the regular workshops then. Thursday is also another Q&A. The Q&A Tuesday, Thursday is with Patrick and I, as well as our other marketing team as well. And then Friday is usually the optional like deep dive day where we will go deep dive into a tactic that we're telling everybody, a marketing, playbook or tactic that we're telling everybody to run. And it's because it's not because like we're just choosing to run that, like we're telling everybody to run it, but then they're coming on the workshops and they're like, guys, we need a deeper dive. We need more help with this. And so on the fly, we're reacting on the fly based on what all the members need. So we just adjust. So a perfect example, Patrick slacks me last night. That's our internal chat messaging tool. And he's like, we're on Tuesday, the workshop is Facebook and Instagram paid ads. Has to be done. So we're called an audible. He's like, I'm calling it audible. That's what it's going to be. It's not going to be general Q&A. And it's because the last 2 to 3 workshops, we've had like, I don't even know, 20 or 25 questions about ads or something like that if we added it all up. And so we're like, we have to do a deep dive on it now because there's too many questions, and people are looking to do it and they want to do it right now. And, there's a couple of resources that we have that might need to be updated or some new language or whatever. But Pat, did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, number one, welcome back.
Yeah, Otto, get back in, man.
Yeah, to your point about Gary Vee, like we're all in the same situation. Like the internet has been the great leveler. There's no more gatekeepers. There's no more telling you what to do. There's no more standing in the way. You can get your website, get online, and then you just need attention. I need attention to sell Art Storefronts. You need attention to sell your art. Gary Vee needs attention to sell everything he needs to sell. And those are the new rules. It is the new currency. It is the only thing that matters. It is the one problem that all of you guys have. You've got great art. You've got great photography. You want to sell it. To do so, you need attention. So the whole ball game is marketing. That's it. And Otto, you're going to do great. Just come on Tuesdays, come on Thursdays. Any questions that you have. Yanis is asking how many customers we have, how much time you get. We have like 3,000 customers, but we usually only have between 100 and 200 people on our chats. And, some people are bashful, some people are not. We have people that just come on every single solitary time and just listen. They listen and they just paint in the background.
80% of the people just attend and have yellow pads, and we have husbands and wives who literally have yellow pads and they're just taking notes like it's business school. Yep. Like they're in a course, yep. 80% of the people stay silent and just learn from us talking and coaching other people. Truthfully, as you guys have probably seen, for those of you who have been on this, you're going to notice that the problems are all the same. There's a pattern in all of it. Yeah. And so if you hear us coaching anybody for, like the first 10 people, it probably solves your problem more than likely. or at least get you thinking the right way about what you need to do. And so, yeah, so you don't have to, we never have a problem. We go until the end, until the last question is asked.
Okay. It's Cindy, Diego. I thought I saw Heidi's hand up. Now it looks like it's done. So Heidi, I don't know if you did that on purpose or not. Otherwise, hands back up. Nice work, Heidi. So we'll do Cindy, we'll do Diego, we'll do Heidi. And then Nick is asking, it's possible to use Art Storefronts to develop a portrait business. I have like a detailed rant on that one. You should raise your hand. If you want to raise your hand, I'll get into that one. I love that. But Cindy Phillips, you're up next. Go. Looks like your mic is muted, Cindy.
Is that by us, though?
No. Oh, there we go. No? I keep clicking unmute. Hold on, Cindy. We'll figure this out. I keep clicking unmute, and it's not letting me do it, which means there's a mic setting in the bottom.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Hello, everybody.
All right, we're in business. Welcome.
Hi, how are you? I'm glad to be
Cindy.
here today. I apologize for showing up late. I did not know this was happening until I just went into Facebook. So I am interested in your platform. I have looked into it over the past few years, more than a few times, and it was just a financial thing. I have a couple websites that I've developed via WordPress. I built both of them on the widget style platforms. And so I've been able to add a lot of things to them, but I'm a sculptor and I'm also a painter. I do a lot of 2D and 3D. So I wasn't sure if your platform was going to be, it was going to work well for my websites because of the fact that I do both.
Tell us tell me about your sales. What are you selling the most?
I'm not selling much of anything.
How much have you sold ever, period, if you just had to guess?
I'd say about $5,000 or $6,000.
Okay. Now of that, how much of it was sculptures versus 2D art?
Most of it was actually sculptures, but I just started getting into the two-dimensional artwork lately.
So we're more meant for the 2D art. You can sell anything, like, because we have standard products on the platform. So people sell all sorts of merchandise and things like that. And that's how you would set up a sculpture product. We actually have probably have like 10 or 20 sculptors that are just sculptors on the platform. But we just like to, like, they're on it for the marketing. You know what I mean? The website and the marketing, of course, but like the amazing like visualization tools we have are all for 2D art, right? So so you'd have to make the call on that. I think that if you're taking your art seriously, and you know that you are, right? And like, this is what you're going to be, if you know you're going to be doing it in 3 years and 5 years, then, properly equip yourself. And you obviously have a marketing problem. That's your whole problem. If you've only sold $5,000 or $6,000, you have the same problem that everybody has. We always say it doesn't matter. The people don't even understand this. I've built quite a few companies. Okay, I built companies into tens of millions of revenue, my own, that I started, right? And most people don't know that, like, when you start out, like, and you get to like 10,000 in sales, you usually like hit a wall, and you need help. You need like some sort of mentors or a consultant or somebody to help you. Then you get to 100,000 and you hit your next wall. Then you get to 1 million, and then you get to 5 million. And then you get to 10 million and you hit another wall, and you need people to help you through those things. It happens all the time. It even happens to me. Like, it still happens to me to this day, because there are people who have gotten to the higher level than you, and you need the advice of those people when you get to that level. You're never an expert at everything, right? You're only an expert as to that peak that you've gotten to in your career. So in your case, though, you just have a marketing problem. And if you know that you're going to take it seriously, then you're probably a great fit for us.
So WordPress would work with your platform?
You would ditch the WordPress and you would just have an Art Storefronts website. You don't have to do that, but you should.
Well, the reason I ask is because simply I also have an event-based business for artists, so I didn't know if I could. They're linked together. So
you might be able to, but if you need to keep that one for the event-based stuff, then just keep the one for the, like, just keep the event stuff on that, And then your Art Storefronts website is the art store, your art shop, like with your sculptures and that's where people are shopping, right? We always tell people who, like, we commonly have photographers who are commercial photographers, like they do portraits and weddings and things like that. And so they might already have a website for that. And we say, you just put a shop art link in the navigation menu or art store, something like that. And then that opens up your fine art, website on Art Storefronts. It looks kind of seamless the way that it transitions, but that's all you have to do. And you can link them back and forth.
That's why I'm asking, because I have the Instagram, the Twitter, the Pinterest, the YouTube channel. I have all those things together, but I made a huge mistake on Facebook, which is I put a lot of my art up in one day and I lost all of my followers because I overwhelmed them. So now I'm starting from scratch all over again.
That's okay. It happens. It is what it is. No big deal. Don't worry about it. Like, seriously, do not worry about it. That's the past. You got to move forward now.
Yep.
Right. And you're fine. Like, the fact that you've sold Cindy $5,000 or $6,000 means that's the most important information. People have bought your work. Perfect strangers, I assume, right? It wasn't like your brother or your sister, your right? Like, you have to have perfect strangers. Pat muted you already. He's harsh on the mute button. That's the most important part, is that you validated that. And the reason I say, like, I want you to ditch the other site for the art store aspect is because I don't want you messing around with dealing with WordPress, like all that different stuff. That's the whole point of our storefronts. Like, we're doing it for you. We are handling all the development, all the research, all the data, everything with the site to constantly make it better. And everybody's just getting improvements and features all the time, and they don't even ask for it, right? They don't even know what we're doing because they don't know how to ask the right questions about conversion rates anyway. We do, because we've been doing e-commerce for 20 years, And so we're doing all of that. And the whole point is that if none of your time is spent on that, then all of your available time that you can spend on your business is spent on marketing. That's how you change your life. That's it. Because it's all marketing. You have to get leads into the funnel to turn them into sales. And nobody is spending their time doing that. It's the biggest problem in the whole industry. So if we can position you to do that, that's going to be the game changer for you.
Yep. Diego, you're up next. Go. It's going to be Diego, Heidi, Nick, and then Todd.
Okay. Hello, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Opening this space. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm not a painter or a photographer. I'm a photographer, but I don't work as a photographer professionally. I'm a filmmaker and I'm a transformative coach. So I help artists, but I help artists more with the mental state and the emotional state. And so I'm interested in learning about your strategies for two reasons. One, because I'm helping artists, and so I want to also be able to support them in with those strategies in a way. And also because my wife is a painter, and so we're kind of figuring out what's the next step for her. So my question is, like, I've been studying marketing, online marketing for different businesses, like for coaching mainly, and one of the common strategies that I see is to create value first. So that's a kind of a way of getting that connection with the person first before offering anything at all. And I see that's very common there. But I haven't figured out how to do that, for art. How can you create value first or create that connection and then offering something? So I want to just hear you guys to answer.
Great question. I'll tell you how to do that. So I believe that you as an artist or a photographer should be approaching this entirely with the thought in your mind that you're trying to make the world a better place, right? Like, in some way, you're going to provide value to your customers, through your art. Because look, when I buy art, like anyone does, like even if you're buying a family photo that you want to put on your wall, right? There's an emotional reason for it. It makes your day better or brighter, right? That's why you do it. And so you as an artist or a photographer are brightening lives, And so your entire goal when you're doing marketing, we call it romance marketing, because I think that gives the right mindset, is, you know, you want to market and you want to talk about the inspiration behind your work and why you did it and all that stuff. You want to give a glimpse into the inside world of your creation process, how you're thinking about a piece, you know, how you go through it, even showing it as it's getting done. There's a lot of entertainment value in that. But that's how you deliver value to people, because look, I follow, out of the 3,000 artists that are on Art Storefronts, like that, I'm looking at everybody, what everybody's doing, right? But there's a couple, you know, there's probably a handful, I'd say like 5 to 7 that I follow, and I'm on their email list because I want to be, you know? And it's because I have an emotional connection to their specific subject matter because of my life and my background and all that stuff, right? And I love I love following them. I love being on their list because they're doing this romance marketing. So every time I get an email, like, I'm like, it's not spam. I'm happy to open it, right? Because there's a story there that's going to like brighten my day and I'm connected to it. Or when I see something in my feed, it's like, I want to see that stuff, you know? So if you come through it through that lens, then I think it's really easy to understand what type of marketing content you should create. And I'll also say this, Wyland, Wyland, he's a famous, extremely successful artist. He paints like oceanography stuff. He's probably got like 20 galleries or 30 galleries in the world. He wrote a book called Don't Be a Starving Artist. We always recommend this. I recommend everybody buying that and reading it. And one of the things that he talks about, amongst many other things, is that his average collector buys 8 pieces. 8.
I've got it, by the way. I've got it up.
There we go, right there.
Great
book.
Yeah,
I bought a bunch of them and they're floating all around the office because I wanted everybody to read it. But yeah, so 8 pieces, like, wrap your head around that, the average collector. So I want all of you, and I want, obviously, this is what I'm telling all of our Art Storefronts members, to think about every new subscriber, every new customer through that lens, right? This is a long-term customer that I want to turn into a collector that buys 8 pieces from me in my life, right? In their life, okay? So that means there's some people who buy 15 and there's some people who buy 1. Like, just think about that, right? Because if you understand that, you realize that you're selling an experience as much as you're selling a product. You are selling an experience, you know? And if you do that, and this is something I didn't get to mention to Otto earlier. So Otto, if you're listening, something for you too, is that I always advocate that, like, you know, Amazon, same thing as art.com, same thing as Fine Art America, all these cheap, cold websites, the coldest experience ever. You want to be the opposite of that, right? There's no experience there. There's no experience. There's no relationship. There's no, you know, any of that. I always tell people, like, look at what art.com is doing, and I want you to do the exact opposite. I don't want any automation, no automated unsold cart emails, right? A personal one-on-one, you know, no automated thank you email after the order. I want you to send them a personal email from you. When they subscribe to your email list, send a personal email thanking them. Make them feel like they have a connection to you, right? Like, they know you, you're a star. We as art consumers look at you, whether you realize it or not, whether you have self-limiting beliefs, you guys are like, you know, you're stars in your own way. And when we know you and we're connected with you, it's a whole different level. That's how you get people to, like, when they actually have a need, and it might be 8 months down the line from when they first subscribed to you or met you. That's why you are first on their mind when they want to buy a piece, because buying a piece from you means so much more to them than this cold piece at Costco or, you know, art.com or anything else that means nothing. Every time they have that on their wall and they look at it, they're like, I know that guy. Like, and I know what he's all about, and I know why he created it. And it's just like, there's so much meaning in it that you can easily see how a person would spend $500 or $700 on a piece because of that, rather than $100. You know what I mean? For some decorative art piece. Like, we're not playing the decorative art game, guys. I don't want you competing in that crowd. If you're successful there and you can make that work, I got no problem with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, wherever you get to work, we need to exploit and pour gasoline on it as much as possible. But generally, this is the angle that I like because it's so long-term. It's not price-oriented. You'll have incredible profit margins. You'll get a ton of value for your work. You'll build a great brand, and people will love it. And I think you will really enjoy the experience. I really think so. Like when you create stuff and you're building relationships with people, like look what we're doing with you guys, this is what we do with our own customers. I'm trying to set the example for all of you. Like I'm the CEO and owner talking to you right now. I'm doing it with all of our customers every week. And I still have people saying oh, I haven't contacted anybody and thanked them for an order. And I'm like, what am I doing right now? Like, you guys have to think it's insane that I'm doing this. I'm literally trying to eat my own dog food and show you guys what you need to be doing. You need to be this close with your customers. If you got collectors, you got 20 collectors already or 30, have a Zoom call just like this and do an art gallery show just for them with pieces that you've never shown anyone, right? Like, how's that for an experience? You see what I mean? Diego, does that make sense? I mean, I just went off on a whole bunch of tangents there, but that's the game right there that's what, and I'm telling you this because this isn't a theory. This is what actually works. Like, this is the people who are selling 100,000, 200,000 a year on our platform. This is essentially what they're doing, Like, we had Meg Knappenberger, one of our painters who sells hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. She was on one of our workshops 2 weeks ago, and we had her on just with Patrick and I, and and so she was taking questions from people along with us, and it was fascinating. And one of the things that she talked about is all the hand-to-hand combat that she's doing. We call it hand-to-hand combat. The non-automation factor, right? Like emailing from your own personal account and understanding that, like, having the mindset, like, I'm turning this into, a collector that buys 8 pieces. If that guy smells that I gave him an automated email, you're going to just blow that whole thing, right? Meg is doing all of that. She's doing it all the time. Her biggest collectors, her best collectors, she's got them on text message. There's only like 5 of them, or 6 of them that she lets on that level. She's text messaging with them, like that. Like, that's where this goes.
Okay, Heidi, you're up next. Heidi, go.
Hey, so I had a couple questions. I've been looking at you guys for a long time. I've been primarily making my money from live event painting.
Nice.
Which
what platforms do you do it on? Just out of curiosity.
I have a WordPress site that's live event painting, and then I have a Shopify account that's my studio work. Mm-hmm. So they're like almost 2 separate businesses.
And what are you selling, Heidi? Like on the lives, are you actually selling like your art? Or are you selling courses or classes or something like that?
Oh no, I go to an event and I paint on the spot what's going on, and then by the end of the night I have a painting. So,
got it.
Like, I fly all over the country doing it, and
I love it. That is awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years.
How much do you sell it for?
Anywhere from 3,500 to 10.
Nice.
So I mean, okay, so I love like you guys' marketing. I mean, I do a ton of work on marketing myself. I like produce videos. I like time lapse the shit out of everything. Like, I work my butt off. The thing is, so I've ordered a print from y'all after an event, and I wanted to see the quality, and like the quality wasn't there, and I was so bummed. And I like talked to y'all.
Well, which printing company? Because we have several.
Yeah, so then I talked.
And I will assure you, Heidi. Do you know my background?
I mean, I know you're an entrepreneur. I know.
So I started Breathing Color. You can look it up after this. 17 years ago.
Okay.
It's a manufacturing company. We make canvas, fine art paper, photography papers, and for printing companies and for artists and photographers who own their own printers. Like, we're in like 40 countries all over the world. It's a big company. I know everything there is about printing.
Well, it was not the quality control on that.
I will assure you that whichever company that it was, like, send an email to us I want to know who did it. We're going to track it down. We're going to get you another one.
Okay. Because then I called back and I was like,
trust me. No,
all right.
Let me tell you this. If you care about quality of printing.
I do.
Okay. Like, you can't be anywhere else than with us, because nobody cares about it more than I do. I know it more than anyone. And ask our members, ask any of our members about our printing service, okay? We have Bay Photo and we have Graphic Dimensions. I have personal relationships with the owners. I have hand-selected them specifically because we know every single media type that they are using by brand. I know exactly what inks they are using, what printers they're using. We publish all this information. They're contractually obligated to not change any of those things because they are all archival certified for 100+ years, okay? And I am like, we police this completely, you know, and there is 100% satisfaction on this. Like, if you don't like one or the other, like Bay Photo, then we will switch you to Graphic. You know, it's your choice. And one or the other, you can't get better quality than what these guys are doing because I know what the best quality is, right? There's aqueous printers, there's solvent printers, there's latex printers. The absolute highest quality is aqueous with specific canvases and top coatings. And those are clearly marked in our system as like the premium, expensive, you know, Ferrari products. But you also have the other options that are more decorative and cheaper, right? So I have to know exactly what you bought and who you got it from. And trust me, I would love to see any, like, if there's somebody where you're getting better prints from, like I would love to like qualify that and check it out.
I mean, I'll ship it back to y'all. I mean, it was like granulate. I mean, it just, you know, and I don't know, like, I mean, obviously you have to have good photography, and if you guys have like a quality control.
Are you buying that? Oh, are you selling? Like, so you haven't bought prints from anyone else?
Oh no, I've bought prints from several different. I just haven't landed on a particular person. I mean, like, because I want something automated, but I want the quality to be there, and so I'll go and do these events. I'll take a high-res shot, and then I'll leave, and I'm like out the next day, right? So I was sending it as a thank you. Anyway, so okay, so there's that. So there's one, and then two.
Just consider that box checked. Trust me.
Okay,
but send us the thing. I want to, like, we'll send you another print.
Okay.
I got to track down who it was. I don't know when it was. When was this? A couple years ago?
No, it was this past year.
Okay, I want to know. I got to see the media type that you chose and which company it was, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Okay, because I mean, yeah. Okay, so. And then the AI experience. So, because I've like been looking at your all's artists that you work with, and like when I go to their sites, like it's really, to me, to have your email list come up a bunch, like I feel spammy, and like, you know, for a fine art experience. I mean, I get the marketing aspect. I totally understand.
Then don't use that feature. Just turn it off.
So there's a lot of options for that too.
It's your business, Heidi. Like, we're going to coach you, and we're going to urge you on certain things based on data, and we're going to show you the data, and you're going to make the call.
Okay.
It's your business. Like, that we're not handling all of those details for you. Like, you get to do, like, there are people who just, to my dismay, to put it lightly, they'll have like a bright yellow background on their website, and you know, fonts that are huge, that are red. And I look at these things and I go, I can't believe you did that, please, after everything that we say. But they are just determined to have a yellow background website, you know? And it's like, okay. But what I say to people, like what we say is, do what you got to do. And then if you want better results and you want to talk about getting better results, then we'll talk about that later, you know? Like, because some of those things might be hurting you. And sometimes it's like, you know, people come back and they're like, well, my sales aren't where I wanted them to be after like 6 months. And I'm like, okay, so do you want to go to best practices now? Because your conversion rate is about half of what everybody else's is. And they're like, well, what do you mean? How does that happen? It's like, because you took the perfect thing that we gave you and you just blew it up and redesigned it and moved things around and did all this different stuff. And it hurt your results. But it's all up to you. So that pop-up, you just won't activate it. I think you should, but
well, I mean,
don't worry about it. We don't have to have that debate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You're all good. You that's another box that's checked, right? Like, don't worry about that. You know what, Heidi? Other people, like, there's so many misconceptions that are similar to that. Like, people say to us, like, you know, I don't want to discount. I don't ever discount. It's like, so don't discount. We're not telling everybody to discount. Like, there's certain times that we advocate that, like, it's part of our playbooks, and it completely works. The people that are selling hundreds of thousands of dollars on our platform are discounting, right? But there's certain people that go, you know what? I don't want to do it. And it's like, cool, don't do it. It's your business. So at the end of the day, it's all up to you what you want to do. And we're here to help you.
Okay, cool.
Thanks,
All right.
Heidi.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Nick, you're up next. Nick, go.
Okay, thanks a lot. This has been very informative, and I really appreciate you guys putting this on.
Excellent.
Very,
awesome.
Very good.
Thank you, Nick.
A couple of things in terms of my background. I've made, a fair amount of money, in the, 5 to 10,000, maybe $15,000 in terms of selling my work, which has been a combination of portrait photography and landscape. I was part of the exhibition in the Burning Man exhibition that was in the Renwick Gallery in DC and Cincinnati and in Oakland. And I was the only photographer that had like multiple images and had a whole separate section on that of portraits. Excuse me. What I would like to be able to do and see if this platform will work is to do both a combination of my fine art photography, which tends to be landscape, and portraiture that is on a commission basis. The portraits that I do, I tend to call spirit portraits or soul portraits, because of the way in which I work with people. So I'm just wondering, and Patrick had made a comment about, you've got a rant on that of some sort. So
oh yeah, go for it.
Rant away.
Yeah, I've got rants on just about everything.
I need 1 minute. I'll be right back. You go ahead and rant.
Yeah, no worries. So one of the things that you realize, it's like the biggest problem if you're a portrait photographer and you've got a portrait business, is there's only so many jobs you can book, right? You, like me, like Elon Musk, we all have something in common. It's called 24 hours in a day, right? And so there's only so much work you can do in that individual day. And there's so many, we have like, where I live here, we have one of my buddy's wives, and she's like the local portrait photographer, right? And she does these packages, and everybody marches their kids down there 2 or 3 times a year, and she sells absolutely no prints after the fact. And I constantly am yelling at her for this. Very few people understand all of the media types, right? Like metal, amazing. Acrylic, amazing. Most people don't even know it exists, what it is. Some people not even canvas, like fine art paper. So, if you can get in a position where you have the ability to sell all that stuff, you have an assistant that's with you when you're doing these portrait shots, and you have all of the media options on the table, and you're ready to take orders right there on the spot, and then you start getting their birthdays and emailing them on Christmas. By the way, I've still got the archive. Want to get someone else a print? I think that can be a massive business, and I think very few people are taking truly advantage of it. So that's what I would say. You could do it. You could do it all day long, and if you have the steady business, like every business out there can only be grown 3 ways, right? You can bring new customers in. That's the one everyone focuses on. There's AOV, which is average order value. So, the famous example is, do you want fries with that, right? Most people say yes. You've increased your AOV. And the third one is repeat business. And in like the portrait photography business, everyone just focuses on the trading my dollars for hours, my photographic time. And almost no one focuses, how can I get my AOV up? How can I get my AOV up? Well, let me tell you, if you're charging $1,000 a session, and all of a sudden now you start offering prints and you're doing a proper job merchandising them, your AOV is now going from 15 to 17 to 18 to 2,200. And then you figure out the repeat business portion of it, which is you took a picture of my family or you took a portrait of my family. Next thing you know, Thanksgiving's turned the corner. Hey, by the way, I know everyone's out looking for Christmas gifts. Just wanted to let you know I saved the entire archive. If you're looking for a gift for mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, and they want to have something on the wall, or you want to send it to them in college, whatever it is. So there it is, repeat business. And so there it is. You're a portrait photographer. By bolting this into your operation, you're now increasing your AOV across the board, and you have a crack at repeat business because you're doing the marketing. And that pours a tremendous amount of gas on that business, and I don't see any of them doing it. I mean, my buddy's wife, we get in the backyard and I yell at her. And the reason she won't do it is because she's an artist and she thinks in her head about print permanence and quality, and it's got to be the perfect way that I want it. It's like, no, let people have what they want. Show all the media types on a table. Here's what it looks like on canvas. Here's what it looks like on acrylic. Here's what it looks like on metal. Oh, by the way, these don't need frames. They're ready to hang. Here they are. And show that. and then have a package at the end of that session with some scarcity on it. If you order in the next such and such hours, this is a package I just do for my customers. No problem if you don't want to do it. Check it out. Your assistant's selling at the table. You're over there shooting. That's a big business. That's cooking with gas right there. And you can do that all. You can do that all day long. You can do that all day long.
And I think you even prime it before the shoot. Like you got a package with a canvas, like a gallery wrap, priced, ready to go. You know what I mean? Or like a couple of different things, so that they're already starting to think about it, and then they're going to see it actually when you're in person.
Yeah, and then because our sites integrate with the print partners, you don't even have to do anything after that. After the order's in, hands off. You don't touch anything. It shows up at their doorstep and you're done. You can just call them after the fact and say, hey, did you like it? Do you want to get any more of them? So I just think there's a tremendous opportunity for portrait photographers. And as you can tell, it fries me out because I don't want to go shopping. I hate going shopping. I don't like going to malls. I want to go to a mall.
Right.
And so like, why can't you just have something like this ready for me when I show up? My wife's over there wrangling the children. Okay. They're dressed in some stupid Halloween, whatever it is, Easter, my wife does the whole thing, dresses them alike. I don't have twins. Why do they always dress alike? And she's over there wrangling the kids. And she's over there wrangling the kids. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Nick's too. And she's over there wrangling the kids. What am I doing? I'm looking at my cell phone board saying, why do I have to come to another one of these? I had a table there, okay? And all of these print types were merchandised on the table, and your assistant was talking to me about it and going, oh, by the way, your mother-in-law, you know how your mother-in-law would be if you just sent one of these things? Give me your credit card. I'll take it right now. It'll ship to your mother-in-law's house. Your Christmas shopping is done. Fantastic. Why isn't anyone doing that? No one ever does that. It fries me out.
Well, the other thing that I'm interested in doing is these portraits were part of a book. I created a book of portraits from Burning Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different from anything else that's ever been done at Burning Man. But I would like to do more book kinds of
we love books. Nick can talk about that too,
as well as some other kinds of things. So you say you love books. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick, on the new product.
I'm working. I mean, this is another one of those things that like nobody's really thinking about or asking for that I'm pushing through as a project with our printing companies. Is I think that coffee table books. I mean, I've got one down here. I won't bore you and pull it out, but they're just gorgeous, right? You can have like really high end ones with nice fine art paper, and then you can have them like, and you could charge $300 or $400 for those things. You could even do a limited edition of them, right? And they could be $1,000 each, signed and numbered. And then you could have the cheaper ones that are like $100. But I love those, and we're gonna get what we're trying to do is I'm trying to get those done with automated fulfillment. So that on an on-demand basis. So as they sell, Bay Photo, for example, just prints it right on the spot, sends it to the customer, and you guys don't have to do anything, right?
POD too, like no minimum orders, right? POD.
What's that?
Print on demand, no minimum orders. It's not like you have to order 3,000 of them.
Print on demand.
Yeah.
And but the reason I love that product is because not everybody has available wall space, and I don't like artists and photographers selling coffee mugs. It's bad for the brand, and there's no profit margin in it. It's just total waste, right? But a coffee table book, that's a good one. Anybody can buy that at any time, and you can sell them right on the spot.
Okay, good questions, Nick. All right, Todd, you're up.
Wait, before we start the next one, Chris, I forget because this isn't like a member workshop, but we always have a team of people on here, and we have like 5 Art Storefronts employees on this call right now. Chris, in regards to Heidi a few minutes ago, can you write that on the to-do list? Let's get that over to Emily and Giovanna to track down her order. Because Heidi, we can track that down and contact you. We have that information. So they'll do that.
Okay. Todd, you're up now. Go.
Hi. How's everybody doing? So
hey Todd, we're getting bad connection.
Todd, what I would do is I'm going to disable your video. I'm going to disable your video because I think we've got some bandwidth issues, and then we'll just go audio on you and see if that does it. Okay, let's give it another shot. Go ahead.
All right, hang on one second. I'll connect to a better internet connection.
No, it's okay. That did it.
You're good right now.
Yeah, we got rid of your video. We got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just was on my iPhone for some stupid reason. So I'm switching right now. Okay.
Let's see if he comes back.
Yeah. I'm here.
Oh, okay. What's your question, buddy?
Okay. So I have a fairly large business now, but not in the art world. In the
What kind of
construction,
business?
it's a construction company or remodeling company. And I'm getting to the point within the, let's say 2, 3, 4 years of retirement. But my passion really is photography. I've done some marketing of my photography badly. Sold a little bit.
How much have you sold approximately?
Maybe about 5,000-6,000.
Awesome.
In that area.
That's great.
My goals really are, as I retire, I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to refine, produce more art and have an outlet for it and have it at least fund my travels and, to be able to keep doing it. This money is really not a big deal for me in terms of making a living. I don't need that, but I want to be able to do this more and have an outlet for, there's only so many places on my wall I can hang my art or whatever. So I guess my question is, how long should the ramp up be to, does it take a couple of years of, doing your methods to where you really start to gain traction, where you have a clientele and an ongoing business?
Do you have an email list?
Not one that I'd probably want to use. I don't really want to sell to family and friends that much.
Here's the thing. Here's what I would say. So if I gave you a ramp up time frame, it would be totally disingenuous because everybody's different. Like, just imagine if like 100 people go and buy a toolbox from Home Depot, and one of them's Elon Musk and the other's a bum, right? Elon Musk is going to turn it into $1 billion company. The bum's going to have $0, right? And he'll probably do it fast, Elon Musk. So it's up to you and your art and how much time you're going to spend marketing and all of that. But I think the bigger thing is, if this is what you want to do, right? And you want to sell your photography, and you want to retire and you want to travel, then I think this is actually a great fit for you, because the whole point of what we're doing here is, you're getting the proper art gallery website. So you're totally, utterly, properly set up now and in the future. Never have to worry about that again. And from a marketing, everything else is about marketing, right? So whether it takes 6 months or it takes 2 years or whatever, if you're going to do it anyway, like, you're going to have to do the marketing, right? But what's so great is that with our marketing plan, you're only going to focus your time on the things that matter, and like the things that we know work. So the limited time you have will be on that, and that's really just it, like, you just have to make the decision as to whether if you're going to do it and you're going to do it. The alternative, I don't know what the alternative is, because the alternative is, spending a ton of time on marketing, not doing the right things, and not getting to that outcome that you want. All we're doing here is we're giving you the tools, like everything that you need as an artist or a photographer, to have the wind at your back and to maximize your success potential and amplify your sales as much as they can go. That's really all we're doing,
Okay.
Like, if you have the proper tools and the proper guidance and coaching and mentorship, like, you're going to probably do the best that you are capable of doing. But you make 100% of your decisions. We make 0% of your decisions. So the decision making is the variable, and it's up to you.
How much time in an average week would you say you need to devote to this in order to make it successful?
Great question. So Meg Knappenberger, the artist that we referenced earlier, that was on our doing mentorship in one of our workshops, we asked her that question. She sells hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and she spends about 10 or so hours a week on marketing.
I would also say, Todd, some perspective for you, right? And this is why I think you should get started immediately on your marketing and devote some sort of consistent clip of time to it. when you're in a situation like that, you're busy, you're running a company, you can take margin time and slow cook your following and your email list and your traffic, and it's insanely effective actually. And it's funny because this pandemic hit, okay, and for us at Art Storefronts, and I want to tell you like the cautionary tale, and I've been marketing here for 5 years, right? I've been running the marketing here for 5 years, and it's always the same question, right? Like, how much time should I spend on Facebook? How much time should I spend on Instagram? What about YouTube? Does it make sense to try to expand out to other platforms? Am I spreading myself too thin? By being in a situation, us at Art Storefronts, where I recognized what the proper channels were, the best channels, the highest leverage channels for the business were, but we also put a little bit of water in these other pots, okay? We put a little bit of water, marginal time, on the margins, on the fringes, a little bit of time on Instagram, right? And a little bit of time on YouTube. And then the pandemic hit, boom. Well, guess what? Because we did that and slow cooked it over 5 years, YouTube, not our dominant channel. Instagram, not our dominant channel. Facebook was our dominant channel, okay? But because we did that, we slow cooked that, this pandemic hit, okay? And we had over 1,000 subscribers, so we can go do live broadcasts on YouTube. We're getting a ton of views on YouTube. We have this other platform where we can go and capture people's attention on a whim. Same too with Instagram. We got over the 10,000 follower mark. We're able to link out of our Instagram stories. We're able to go live on Instagram and have like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 people instantaneously hear our message. None of that would have been possible if we weren't working on putting a little bit of water into those pots on the margins. And so, you're like, I'm going to retire in 2 years or 3 years. Okay, well, you start slow cooking it. Make sure that you commit to doing some portion of the marketing consistently. And then by the time you're actually ready, you're going to have some momentum, right? Like it primes the pump. It's priming the pump. You don't want to have to start from scratch day one the minute you finish. You want to have some momentum going, and you can do that in a little bit of a clip of time. Even a couple hours a week. But if you do it consistently, you're going to be in a way better place, and I would totally do that.
Yeah, and Todd, what I would say too is don't remember the line from Steve Jobs. It takes 3 to 5 years to build a business, right? To build anything significant, 3 to 5 years, right? And in my own,
no shortcut
there's
for that
a lot
one.
of entrepreneurs. Gary Vaynerchuk says 10 years, okay? And there's a lot of entrepreneurs who everybody basically agrees with that. I mean, I am in 100% agreement with that. I have started 6 companies, okay? Art Storefronts being the last one. And I thought that I was at the pinnacle of my career, able to do it quicker, faster than any other time because of everything that I've learned and all the success that I had had prior and all the failures that I had prior. Like, sure, this one's going to be the easiest one. Nope, you can't cheat it. You just can't cheat it, right? So the best thing for you is to get started right away and take it as seriously as you can right away. I would honestly do that, because if you're looking for that, for a great outcome in 3 years when you actually retire and have some consistent income coming in from it, the best thing you could do is start watering it now. If you can't spend a lot of time on it, then that is what it is. But you are way better off starting like right now. It's like planting a tree. Like the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The next best time is right now, So that's my advice, because it's gonna anything good is gonna take a little while, and it's good. This is just good for everybody on here to hear, because so many people think that like, oh, I'm gonna launch a website and in 3 months I'm gonna, if I don't have $10,000 in sales, and these are people starting new businesses, right? They're not even in your position where you actually have sold stuff, and they get all bent out of shape with themselves, and they're sad, and they're really emotional about it. And it's like, you just had wrong expectations. Where did you get the expectation that would happen? That it doesn't exist. And so when people realize that any entrepreneur who's ever built a real business will actually tell you it's going to take 3 to 5 years to do anything, like,
and really 5 to 7 when you pick up the steam.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's 3 to 5, even if you have good traction in 5 years or 3 years, you're gonna be in a good spot a couple years later. But that's the realistic expectation, and that's the mindset that you want to have going in.
And I would also say, like, I don't understand how it got to where it is, but this is a massive endemic problem with artists and photographers across the board, and it's lacking a piece of perspective. And I get that, like, the millennials have grown up on Instagram, right, where everybody's flying around in a private jet and driving a Mercedes and popping Cristal at the club because they just live their lives to go and get these photos, right? Like, these kids live their lives to go and get these photos. Like, They're not on the trip to enjoy the beaches. They're on the trip to get to the most beautiful beach and the most beautiful spot and take an Instagram photo like that's real life. That's not real life. I get that generation's mind is cooked, okay? I understand that. They don't have the perspective of how long it takes. But we've got so many artists that are in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, and they'll come on board. They'll work on one marketing initiative. They've been online for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and they haven't sold anything. And they come in just stir-fried, unwound. They're on the call. They're screaming and yelling, what is this? What is this? What is this? And I don't understand how the older generation is getting it. But you also see this manifested in, you notice how many artists have popped around to every single solitary venue? They were on Saatchi, or they tried to get on Saatchi, and then they went on to Fine Art America, and Fine Art America wasn't working. And then maybe they tried Etsy, and then when Etsy wasn't working, they were on WordPress. Well, it wasn't WordPress. I just got on the Shopify site. It's just this constant hopping around because no one seems to have the perspective of how long it takes. There is no one that has built a robust business in 3 months. There's just no one, okay? It takes years. None. It takes years, and you don't realize that until maybe somebody gives you a little perspective. That kid is not flying in a jet. He snuck into an FBO and went in and took a photo of himself. That is bullshit. He cannot even afford that jet. No one can. So it takes time. You have to have the perspective piece of how long the time comes, and I find that we are constantly retuning that perspective piece in our customers. Like, they'll come in and like we have these super in-depth marketing presentations and tutorials that we walk you through. This technique on how to run a sale and what the sale looks like and how to do the before, the after. And they'll come in, they'll be like, I followed everything. I followed all the steps in your playbook. I didn't sell a single solitary thing. You didn't sell a single solitary thing on the very first sale you ever run in your digital newbie? Well, then color me surprised.
You have 5 emails on your list?
I had to run 55 sales until I sold anything. And on the 56th, I finally figured it out. And it's not going to be that situation in every case. But where is this perspective that anything good in your life happens easy? What life are you living where you don't have to put any work into anything and all of a sudden fish are magically jumping in the boat and it's raining dollars? I don't know where the perspective comes from. I really don't. Anyway, I'm done with that rant. Great question, Todd. Good luck. Mari,
there's
you're up.
Really quick. I'm trying to find it. There's a great line that you need to hear.
It fries me out, as you can tell.
I might have lost it.
Okay, Mari, you go while he's finding it.
Continue, and while I'm looking for it.
We sort of got you. You're a little bit muffled. It sounds like you're like underwater or something.
Okay, how's this?
Yeah, it's getting better. Whatever you did, do more of that.
Okay, sorry. You guys, thank you so much. Y'all have brought so much hope to me in this time and just refreshed vision, and your value is just out of the world. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I wish I would have found you guys like a year or two ago when I was working on my website, because it's literally everything that I've been putting into the last couple of years. I would love a website review, but I also have a couple of questions if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Start with the questions.
My website is bitesongstudio.com. And I make photo surrealism art prints.
What was it again? Could you say it again?
Yeah, it's Bite Song Studio.
Bite Songs?
Bite Song.
Like B as in boy, ITE?
No, fight like
fight on.
FIGHT.
Yeah, got it.
Oh, fight.
Yeah, got it.
Bite Song. My name is a little hard to spell, so that's why I went with a different name.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I make and sell. I have a series of open edition, or all my prints are open edition options. There's 2 smaller size, and I keep those on inventory. And then I have 3 limited edition sizes. And I've gone back and forth on the whole limited edition world. Ultimately, I decided to do that so that I could have a greater value and or sell it at a greater value. But I'm worried I pigeonholed myself, especially when it comes to well. My first question is I feel like I sell a lot more of the smaller prints, open edition ones. Maybe I market those more, but that's just naturally who tends to flock to my work. So I want to figure out how to make the leap towards selling the larger limited edition ones, more of those, and like finding the right people for that. And then I also want to figure out how to make that leap into. I've worked with some interior designers, and I feel like the way that it's set up with the limited edition, they had to, in the certain sizes and the certain paper, I felt like it was a lot harder than it needed to be for them, and they were a little, stuck within my restrictions. And I'm wondering if that was me having good boundaries and saying, I only put my work in this kind of way, rather than just offering them anything and everything they want. I tend to not like my work on canvas or on metal. But I feel like the sizing kind of put some restrictions on them, but I was trying to stick with the whole limited edition thing. So I'm like, no, they can only be printed at this size. So I'm just wondering if in the long run, I need to tweak my system or what I offer in order to be able to serve the designers better and people who want the open edition better. So those are a couple of questions that I'd love your insight on and perspective.
Well, the interior designer problem is more of a proper art gallery website problem, right? So it's all of those features are what allow them to, like play, like they're like designer tools. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm referring to? Like the wall preview and like all of that different stuff?
Yes. Yeah, the different mounting options and
yeah. And we also have like we've got like a printable art catalog feature in the back end that you can like print them out and send them to them, like physical, like which is pretty cool, so that they can actually have like a little like notebook on their desk or however you want to do it, then flip through your stuff so they have it on hand. But in general, you just gotta you just gotta try stuff. You gotta be a little more open to just trying some stuff. And you're not unlike many artists and photographers that like many of our members, in that you might have started off on like paper and you're like, I don't know about canvas, I don't know about metal, but and I don't know about different sizes, I don't know about open edition or limited edition. But the thing that I always say is make it small, make the world smaller, right? So you don't have to make some huge decision that's like business changing forever thing, right? Remember that hardly anyone, like we all tend to think that everybody like on our email list or on social media, or every visitor is like watching every single tiny detail that we do every single day as a business. And it is just not true. Nobody has any idea. They know like 1% of what you're doing, right? And so you can run small experiments and try stuff. And that's what you should do, right? So like, you want to try some canvas, try it on one thing, one image or something, and do a sale or like do some sort of promotion on it. See what happens, see if you sell more. Same thing with metal. Same thing with any of those things that you mentioned. Figure out how to make it a small experiment that you can run where you get a pass or fail on the experiment, right? It needs to be an experiment that will lead to if this happens, then I just figured out that maybe I want to do this a little bit more. And then from there, you still don't have to revamp your entire business. You might be like, you know what, that was pretty cool. I'm still a little unsure about this. I'm going to now do it like a little bit more, right? So at first you dip your toe in the water, then you put your whole foot in the water, and then eventually you'll have your answer and you'll know what to do.
That makes sense.
Does that make sense? Because you need the I can't tell you exactly what to do with your specific business. This is one of the reasons like our workshops and our coaching, our ongoing coaching with customers and consulting. It's like we need to like try stuff and then I need to know what happens, and then you come back and you tell us what happened. And then we just keep going and going and going and going, and we figure out the exact right mix for your specific business and how to get like the clientele that are working for you and how to like amplify that as much as possible.
Yeah, I almost signed up for the membership, even if it's just for the marketing and the mentoring, and even if I wasn't going to switch my whole website, just because it's so.
I said that to somebody, another gentleman earlier on this workshop. I was like, because some people like they just made their site and they're like they don't have the hours to be able to set up a new site. And so I just said, like, just join and just chip away at it. Eventually you'll move the website over, like over time.
Yeah.
And because it'll become self-evident that you need to do that.
Yeah.
That's why you'll move it over over time. You will see that you're being hurt. Your business is being hurt because you're missing some things. And then you'll be more motivated, and you'll be like, I got to go find
5-10 hours, whatever it is, to just build the site and just bite the bullet. You know what I mean?
Yep. So good questions all. Nick, you want to leave it there? You want to wrap up?
I have to. I have a hard stop right now. I have family obligations.
Yeah, I do
so,
too. I do too.
But thank you, everyone. It was awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for hanging on as long as you did. I'm sure we will do another one later. The show notes again are all over the comments, and so any of the links, any of the stuff that was mentioned, it's all there.
And let me give the final reminder. So if anyone is interested in joining Art Storefronts, hit the request a demo button on our website. It's always in the upper right-hand corner of the screen in the navigation bar. And then one of our people on our outreach team will reach out, go over any details, questions, all the features and pricing and every single detail that there is for you, and you can make a decision. But we are in May. We were running a pandemic sensitive sale in April, and we decided to extend it today through May. So get your demo request in to get in line, because the spots are already filling up very, very fast because we were already overloaded from last month. We just couldn't get back to everybody. Yeah, we'd love to have you. So if you